in Bentonville. I get all those in there?
I think you got it right. Let's add that. 2201 Southeast Mobley. I mean, I guess you just call it Car Dealer Row in Bentonville. I mean,
man, is that Car Dealer Row or what?
We're right in the heart of it today. At the Jeep store, a Jeep on one side of us. We got a Ram truck on the other side. They got a big selection, and somehow there's a nice-looking Harley-Davidson, too, as you walk right in the front door. So we're glad to be here. It's our first time here. So this is awesome.
The Morning Rush Road Show continues, and we even got Chuck to come in with us on a Thursday.
Guys, I got to tell you, I was driving up the interstate just now. They had a big flashing billboard, red, said, "Go Hogs, beat Bama." And I thought that was pretty cool up there. Kind of got me going in the morning.
Well, it's, starting to feel a little bit of, came back over from Harrison yesterday, was hanging out here in Northwest Arkansas afternoon. People are talking, and the more and more, and I think this is just what we do as sports fans. We're getting a little more confident that this game's, hey, I think it can be competitive in the second half. I think Arkansas can win. Everybody's starting to get, as you said yesterday, over A&M and starting to really think you got a chance this Saturday.
Well, I think we're back to the mindset that we've had all year, and I think we should keep, is that every game they play, they've got a chance to win. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to win them all, as we saw Saturday night. But I think the feeling is among Razorback fans all across the state is that we can play with Alabama. There was confidence gained in the way they played last year, not just for the team but for the fan base. So I think people feel like the Hogs have a shot.
So heard Coach Bittman at the end of his press conference talk about that he thinks this could be the best atmosphere they've had. I know yesterday's a really busy day for him. He's got the SEC teleconference. He's got his local media session. He's got a show with you last night, Chuck. Was there anything?
He was good last night. I mean, he was good. The crowd was good. I mean, it is a little bit different when you play Alabama. There's no doubt about that. And people do have a little bit different feeling. Players have a little bit different feeling. We had Zach Williams and Keytron Jackson on last night. And you can tell, I mean, I've seen enough of them out there. I can tell when it's a different week, and it is a different week. And, this is one of those moments when, this is when legends are made, guys. I mean, if Arkansas wins this ball game, everybody's going to be talking about the main players from now till, whenever. And that's what a game like this presents.
Yeah, and it also, yeah. Bama's the one team that comes to your stadium that it fills it up. It changes the town for 3 or 4 days. Texas is going to be that other team at some point in this league that will counter Bama in that regard. But it is a feel like the community, Benton and Washington County for sure during this week, it's just at another level from a normal home week.
Well, everybody's trying to find tickets, and everybody's trying to get their weekend set. But one thing about playing Alabama is Alabama travels. I mean, they're going to have 7,000, 8,000 people here at the ball game Saturday, and they make noise, and they're just as cocky on the road as they are at home, even when there's not as many of them. So, they're going to be up here to have a good time, and they travel well, and that adds to the atmosphere.
Well, see, I had a text when I woke up from the worst kind of Bama fan. And all it said is Arkansas 42, Bama 6. Now, this is a guy that is a graduate. This is what these people do is y'all are going, we're walking into the Lion's Den. This is a trap for us. All of the, and then they roll out of here more often than not with a decisive win. And they know it going in, but they just, it feels to me like a little pat on the head, Chuck. Oh, poor little Arkansas.
Yeah.
Y'all going to beat us this way, Get out of here.
That's kind of how they roll.
I hope he's right, though.
It's a
the smugness. That's what.
Oh,
there's a lot of smugness.
It felt like he's patting me on the head.
Well, Texas is the only thing comparable in terms of just general smugness. Texas and Alabama are on a whole different level.
Well, at least Bama has the rings to back it up.
Yeah, that's right.
And the deal with Texas, you've kicked their butt the last 2 times you played.
Well, Texas's view of themselves has to do much more with their dynasty years than it does with the modern era. Or what you'd call the modern era, Ty. I think that, they've had some success periodically over the last 20 or 30 years, but most of their glory is long since removed.
Well, it is Beat Bama Week, presented by Lotto right here on ESPN Arkansas, the newest jackpot game from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. Played and won right here at Arkansas every Wednesday and Saturday night. Your chance to play for life-changing jackpots. Get your Lotto ticket today in stores or on the Jackpocket app. Your numbers, your game. How do you Lotto? I think some people would consider just getting tickets at a reasonable price might be hitting the Lotto this
well,
week.
That's for sure.
Because
now.
they are hard to find. So that for some, that might be the jackpot. It's just finding some good tickets this week.
It's that kind of week. I mean, it's that kind of week, and people, people are ready to go. It's always kind of interesting, and I've done this not obviously with the Razorbacks, but with other games, Cardinals and things like that. You think, well, I'm just going to watch it on TV. I'm going to stay home. I'm going to watch it on TV. Then the week progresses a little bit. Well, I'd kind of like to go. And then, I heard somebody might have some tickets. And all of a sudden you kind of get that fever. And even if it falls through, you still got the fever. And you start looking. And by Friday, man, I really want to go to that game.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, you're paying more for the ticket than I would think that you would have paid if
well,
you just bought it.
That's what emotion does.
Yeah.
That's what emotion does. And that's part of the game.
What was it you and Phil used to talk about on halftime? FOMO, the fear of missing out.
Yeah.
It's the fear that Arkansas might actually do it. Lightning may strike, the stars may align, and I want to be there when it happens.
I want to rush that field.
Yeah. Fear of missing out. It's
Yeah.
FOMO.
I know Hunter Yurchek was talking about with students this new freshman class. They're like, I hope we get a chance to see y'all rush the field against Alabama. And they're not one, they're two. But, I mean, do you think they win this game? I mean, I know we always go back and forth on this. Would you actually want fans to rush the field? Because I honestly
Not only will
would.
they rush the field tie, they'll tear the goalpost down.
You think so?
If they don't lower them. I guess they lower them
They'll
now.
lower them now. But, they'll be
But
on
they
the
shouldn't.
field. They'll be on the field.
I guess you got liability. If
I mean,
let's just
let's just be honest. I mean, if they win the game, there's going to be people on the field.
Unless
they make a concerted effort to keep them off, and when you do that, there's all there are is hard feelings when it's over.
I love listening. I'll go back and listen to you, Quinn, and Gino's call of the Texas game last year when the students and everyone else was on the field.
It's been a long time brewing.
Yeah, that was. I've listened to that call several times.
It is from up top. It was really cool to watch it happen. I mean, in basketball, you're right in the middle of it. But
hoping you don't get trampled.
Yeah, but in football, you're up above it. You can see it, and you kind of watch it happen, and you see everybody pour out of the stands and hit the field. And hey, that was a night we'll never forget. You got to win the ball game before you get to do that, though.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: do you ever want to just throw your headset down and then sprint out there with them?
No, maybe not that, but Z would in basketball, and it's too far to walk in football. I mean, it's a long way to go.
We're too old. We'd be tired by the time we got down there from the press box.
That's right.
So, hey, we got a lot going on. If you're going Saturday, you better have your tailgate. I know people are going to get up there 6:45, 7 o'clock set up. World of Wireless has everything you need to tailgate with TV this weekend. They got the Playmaker system. Call 877-305-DISH. It's the easy-to-use portable satellite system from World of Wireless. You can check it out with one call, 877-305-DISH, and take the Playmaker along. Easy to set up, weighs 8 pounds, fits right in the back of your car real easy. So it's all at World of Wireless, 877-305-DISH. We are at McLarty Daniel, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 2201 Southeast Moberly Lane in Bentonville. We'll be here till 9 o'clock. They've got sales tax paid and no payments till 2023. We'll tell you more in just a bit.
Listening to Coach yesterday, I thought he had an interesting comment about their offense. We'll tell you what it is.
Manners, touchdown, Arkansas!
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Searching for the best UTV on the market but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all. No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. Play in pick'em contests versus other people for a shot at winning $150,000 plus in cash. Download the app, choose a contest, select your player props, earn points for the correct picks, and climb the leaderboard for your shot to win big money every day. You can also test your skills versus the house and 20 times your entry if you hit all your picks. Bet on up to 5 player props, over-unders, or individual player matchups across every major sports league, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, MMA, and NASCAR. Sign up now with your promo code HTL. That's promo code HTL at nohouseadvantage.com, or download the app on the app stores to get a first deposit match of up to $25. Make sure to check out No House Advantage today and experience daily fantasy sports redefined, because it's not just how you play, but where you play. You won't want to miss out on this. nohouseadvantage.com, promo code HTL.
Called you. If you are looking for a high level of service and a financial partner who will listen and respond, try First Western. For more information, visit them online at firstwestern.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
everybody.
KJ gets the snap, going to keep it straight ahead into the end zone. Touchdown, Arkansas. KJ from a yard out.
Don't miss out on Hog Reaction after every football game.
You know, it's funny, we had a lot of armchair quarterbacks on Hog Reaction in Monday morning. It's sports radio. That's part of the fun.
No, that would never happen.
Yeah, never happen. But it's funny to hear how I've heard from hundreds of people this week that they know more than Kendall Briles, Coach Pittman, when it comes to the offense. Coach said something in his press conference yesterday about the offense I want to get to coming up.
Hey, we're brought to you by The Fence Man. If you need new gates or fence repairs at your home or business, The Fence Man's who we call. That's who you should call as well. Large commercial jobs, small residential repairs, anything in between they do with The Fence Man. 782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. Before we hear from Coach, I want to remind you again, we are at McLarty, Daniel, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram on Moberly Lane in Bentonville. Come by and see us. We're going to talk to some folks here a little bit later on. Sales tax paid and no payments till 2023, guys.
You think about last year, Arkansas was successful a lot of the times with Traylon Burks. What do you think? You remember that stack that Saban had at Petrino? What do you think? You talked about them running the football. What do you think Saban is really going to focus on with this football team? Alabama going against Arkansas defensively.
Stopping the run. I mean, pure and simple. Stopping the run. Arkansas ran the ball on them last year, and that's the reason I think Arkansas is more confident this year than they were a season ago. Because, look, sometimes you can throw the ball all over the field. I mean, you can get a hot hand one day. You can get a quarterback rolling, and, you know, I'm not saying it's a fluke, but it's not the sort of thing that you do every week. When you can line up with Alabama and you can push them off the ball and you can run the ball, that's when you're a man, so to speak. And I think that Arkansas can do that. If I'm Saban, and he said that this week. I mean, he hadn't made any secret of it. He said, we got to stop the run.
How many people can line up, though, and push Alabama? That's the difference, though. There's only been Georgia recently.
It doesn't happen very often.
Florida did last year.
And it seems like maybe 2 games in 3 years, someone other than Georgia maybe can do it. We saw A&M be able to do something. That, you know, it's as simple as beating them at the line of scrimmage. Oh, yeah, that's real simple.
Well, you know, I don't think right now this is a vintage Alabama team.
It's not.
But we have played Alabama before when it was not a vintage Alabama team and they became a national champion at the end of the year. And, you know, that's kind of their MO. Just when you think, there's a little chink in the armor somewhere, they beat you ugly. I think about, you know, the 2014 game, and you know, they turn it on. But, you know, you hope you catch them on a day when maybe they're not playing the way sometimes they do.
Here's what Coach said about the offense yesterday, Coach Pittman.
For us to have offensive success, we don't have to run the ball a lot. We just have to run it when we want to, and that can open up a lot of things for us. And we did a decent job a year ago of that, and certainly we have to do it again.
So on like a 3rd and 2, you like to be able to have the option to run the football and then not average 1 or 2 yards a carry. And they were able to do that at points last year, not just against the Crimson Tide.
You know, not going to play the game on paper, but let me tell you what's on paper, and that's Alabama on 3rd down defense is allowing conversions 18% of the time. That's number 2 in the country. And guys, rush defense, I'm sure this is the number you highlighted. It's kind of like Arkansas going into last week, 70 yards a game, less than 70 yards a game, 62.5 is what Alabama's allowing on the ground.
Yeah, but I think you got to look at who they've played and the way the games have unfolded. You know, Alabama's jumped on lesser opponents right away, and when that happens, you abandon your game plan. I mean, you don't run the ball anymore because you're so far behind you got to throw. And you know, this is one of those games, and I just think we're to the point in the season now, very frankly, where, you know, the stats can give you an idea, but it's not going to tell you the whole story. I mean, it's and I think Alabama's defense right now, you know,
they haven't played anybody yet.
They've just not been challenged at the line of scrimmage,
especially offensively.
Well, the most they've allowed is 19 points to Texas. I mean, you look at them and you say, "My God, they're only allowing 7 points a game." But
I mean, they played Louisiana Monroe. I mean, they've played some, you know, played Vanderbilt.
Utah State,
who's not very good,
55-0 in that game,
and so, you know, numbers are skewed.
Yeah.
Now, if they had played, you know, let's say they had played Texas A&M, in their conference opener or in one of their games so far. I think we might have a better idea about where they stand, but you got to plan on Alabama being Alabama. And, I've never seen Alabama lose a game where they weren't beaten at the line of scrimmage. Pure and simple. You don't fluke Alabama. And so if you beat them at the line or hold your own at the line, you got a chance.
Well, Alabama always has the revenge factor when they lose or come up short of a national championship, and I know that's what a lot of people are paying attention to after what happened against Georgia. But to your point, this doesn't appear to me. It's weird saying they don't have a vintage Alabama team, but they still have the two best players in the country, right? I get what you're saying.
I mean, are they?
Do you not think they are?
I didn't say they were. They weren't.
What do you think? Will Anderson and Bryce Young? I mean, I haven't seen a better quarterback in college football than Bryce Young.
They play on they're the best offensive and defensive players on the best team. Are they the best players? I don't know.
I'd be hard-pressed to find someone. I mean, what do you think, Tom?
Well, I think obviously he won the Heisman last year, but this year, when you look at who they've played this year, I don't think the first 4 games tell you much because of who they've played. Now, they're playing Arkansas, obviously, this week. They got to go to Tennessee in a couple of weeks. They play A&M next week. I don't know that will be much of a game. I think in the next 4 games, I'll be surprised. Now, I don't know if it'll be this Saturday, but I don't think they'll go 4-0 the next 4 weeks.
And they still got to play in Oxford and in Baton Rouge as well on top of that.
So, these next 4 weeks, I think it's the toughest stretch of their year. I don't think anyone would argue much that, even though there is a road trip to Baton Rouge and Ole Miss on the back end of that, these next 4 weeks will tell you what you need to know about Bama, including Saturday.
I got to tell you, though, Tommy, I wish I had $10 for every time over the last 20 years someone said, Alabama's going to lose 1 game over the next 4 or 5 ball games. I mean, I've done it. We've all done it. You look for that chink in the armor, and a lot of times, it just doesn't happen. But there's a certain way upsets happen, and I mean, it starts with holding your own up front.
But there's Alabama teams that beat everybody 52-3, and then there's Alabama teams that win ugly week after week.
Last year.
And they've got that ability, and they got that swagger that they never think they're going to lose.
Alabama's only had 2 national championship years where they've gone undefeated. That was 2009.
Well, you're not going to – I mean, you've got to be a team for the ages to go undefeated now. I mean, you've got to be a – that's just not going to happen very often.
Yeah. All right, we're live this morning at McLarty, Daniel Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Bentonville. Come by and see us. 2201 Southeast Moberly Lane. They've got sales tax paid, no payments till 2023, and we're winding down September. We all know about interest rates going up. You can lock in this month's rates before they increase in October. It's all here at McLarty, Daniel Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, 2201 Southeast Moberly Lane in Bentonville, Northwest Arkansas's largest Ram truck selection.
We're going to talk with Richard Davenport when we come back next on the Morning
Rush. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Beat Bama Week is presented by Lotto, a new jackpot game from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery with drawings every Wednesday and Saturday. Lotto is only played and won in Arkansas. Get your Lotto ticket today in stores or on the Jackpocket app.
The Burton Pools and Spas Truckload of Savings event is going on now. We have truckloads of Hot Springs hot tubs in stock and ready to deliver. We'll have you soaking in warm, bubbly water just in time for fall. Save up to $4,900 off on select models. Get easy financing with payments as low as $80 a month with approved credit. Come see us at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and Fort Smith for the Truckload of Savings hot tub event, or visit burtonpools.com for more information.
At Clay Maxey Auto Group, making the relationship has been what we've always been about. Can't control the market, but we can control who we are and how we act every day. And we're just going to be really good at being us. It's always been more than just selling cars or servicing them. It's a people business. We're here to take care of the customer. To me, it's important that it's about the relationship, not the transaction. Come visit us today at Clay Maxey Auto Group.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
The Golf Nut has been Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994. Beat the heat, book a time in their hitting base with the TrackMan technology, or play around on one of the many courses like Bethpage Black or Pebble Beach. Needing help with your game? Call Matt Brooks today and schedule a lesson using the simulator. For the best selection of clubs, shoes, and apparel, stop by the Golf Nut today. 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, your #1 stop shop for everything golf.
Studies have shown that people who can count to 5 without saying 1 or 3 can also enjoy the new 2 for $5 breakfast deal at Hardee's. Choose from a sausage and egg biscuit, country fried steak, or biscuit and gravy, now for less. That means more made from scratch biscuits for me. Bite into the new 2 for $5 breakfast deal only at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Tax not included. Available for a limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price of participation may vary.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources, where it's finally time for our end of summer clearance. We've been busy all summer helping more people than ever get the nicer, newer cars they need, and now it's time to flip our inventory. That's right, they all must go. Over 100 Rath road-ready cars, trucks, and SUVs, all priced to save you money now, with discounts up to $4,481 below retail. Plus, our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists are putting every deal together with extra for trades and fast, easy financing through the area's best local credit unions and the nation's best banks and lenders. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy a premium pre-owned vehicle, now is the time, and Rath Auto Resources is the place. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. But why wait? Get the nicer, newer car you've been wanting today and save up to $4,481 during the end of summer clearance at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code, Lesson 86. This is how you say, gee willikers, it's a hot one. Let's cool down with some Bud Lights. That's it for today. Bud Light, crisp. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Ask Brandon Zimmerman in Barling or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith about Shelter's home insurance.
What says relaxation better than the warm, bubbly water and jet massage of a hot tub? Hi, Tommy Kraft here for Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. The Truckload of Savings event is the perfect time to get a hot tub that you've always wanted and enjoy the relaxation that comes along with a hot spring spa. Hey, right now at Burton Pools and Spas, the Truckload Savings event will save you up to $4,900 off on select Hot Springs hot tub models. They have easy financing. In fact, payments are as low as $80 a month with approved credit. And they can get your hot tub, quote, ready to go and get you financed in under 5 minutes when you stop in at Burton Pools and Spas. Now, they're in Springdale. They're also in Fort Smith. And this Truckload Savings event won't last long. You can first look online if you want at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas. It's the Truckload Savings event on Hot Spring Spas. Burton Pools and Spas. They are your source for backyard fun for more than 44 years.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
It's a good punt. Tight spiral, turns over. Sends Stevens back to his own 19-yard line. He's got some blockers in front of him to the 30, to the 40. Stevens outside the numbers in midfield. To the 40, to the 30, to the 20, to the 10. Touchdown, Arkansas!
All your favorite podcasts in one place. The Hit That Line Podcast Network. Brought to you by Breeden RV Center. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's a big recruiting weekend for Arkansas football. Alabama weekend always is at home inside of Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium. We'll talk about that with Richard Davenport coming up. Tommy, as we are live from McLarty Daniel Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bentonville.
Yeah, no sales tax paid and no payments until 2023. So they'll pick up the cost of your sales tax, and you don't have to fork over any payments until next year. Plus, you can lock in September's financing rates before they increase. So stop by and see us this morning here at McLarty Daniel Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. It's on Moberly Lane in Bentonville. We're right here on the showroom floor. Hey, before we talk to Richard, if you weren't lucky enough to get some tickets to the game, you're not going, and you're in the Fort Smith area, Joe's Grill and Cantina will be there as they are for every game day with half-price apps and taps. It's right in the middle of the day. They'll have dollar tacos all day because that's the Saturday tradition. And then during the game, all the beers on tap and all the appetizers on the menu will be half-price as well. It's all at Joe's Grill and Cantina, South 74th Street across from Harps in Fort Smith.
Richard, everyone remembers when Ronnie Wingo took the second play from scrimmage to the house in 2010. Tell us about his little brother who's going to be in town this weekend.
He's in talking to Ronnie Sr. For probably the last 10 years. He's been saying all along that Ryan was going to be the best of the three brothers. Obviously, Ronnie and then Raymond played at Missouri. He's even faster than his brother, Ronnie. He ran a 10.55 in the 100 meters this spring. Sub 22 in the 200 and below 50 seconds in the 400. And he's just a great athlete, obviously. 6'2", 6'3", about 300 pounds, 200 pounds. And his offer list, Ronnie had a good offer list when he was being recruited by Arkansas, but Ryan has surpassed his offer list, and they're going to continue to keep coming his way. But just a great returner also, could return punts or kickoffs, and he's done that well in high school, and I think he could do that on the college level too.
Yeah, Richard, from what I understand, I think Ronnie may be visiting with his brother, coming along for the visits. It'd be good to have him back on campus for this big game this weekend.
That's what Ryan told me about a week or two ago, but it doesn't look like he's going to be coming as of last night, at least what I heard. But who knows? He could be he could still come.
Tell me about DJ Lagway. I think he's currently kind of looking like a Clemson commit. What can you tell us about the five-star kid out of Willis, Texas, Richard?
Yeah, his dad reached out last night and said that they were be coming up. He visited back in March, had a great visit, and he's probably about as impressive as a young man as you'll ever want to meet. He's from a physical standpoint and just a maturity and a leader type kid. You could see where people could just gravitate towards him, and wherever he goes, he's going to have a major impact as far as recruiting, because kids, obviously he's got the talent to attract kids to try to want to play for him, but also just because of the type of kid he is too. And I can say the same thing with Ryan Wingo. Great kids. You would never know that they're some of the top prospects in the country. They don't act like it. They don't have too cool for school attitude. They're just great quality kids.
Richard, I grew up going to Rogers when I was a kid, going to Lake Atlantis, Swim Ranch, and various things during the summer. And I was driving around last night. It's just crazy how much that area, the Bentonville area, has expanded where we're at now. Have you seen that help in recruiting, just the different activities and stuff that people can do outside of football, basketball, baseball when it comes to official visits and whatnot?
Oh, there's absolutely no question about that. You talk to some of the older players in the 70s and 80s and maybe early 90s, and they'll tell you that there wasn't much to do in Fayetteville and Northwest Arkansas back then. And now you have more activities, you have more things to do, bigger population, and obviously the opportunities after college is the big deal. Not for the kids, but the kids are basically thinking, hey, I'm going to the NFL, and I'm not too worried about opportunities after college, but the parents sure are. And with Tyson and J.B. Hunt and Walmart and all the satellite companies, supplying them That's huge, and it just and then all the accolades that Northwest Arkansas gets, as far as quality of living, some of the best, one of the best places to live in the country, the economy growing so much, and things like that. That also is a very attractive thing that I know the coaches sell.
Richard, you talked about some that are on the list to visit this weekend. Is there anyone not going to make it or not on the list that you say, shoot, man, that was that's an opportunity missed? Anyone that should have been here this weekend that's not going to be?
Yeah, it's kind of funny that you asked that, because at 5:59 I got notification that Michael Hawkins, the 4-star quarterback from Allen, Texas, won't be here, but he will be at the LSU or Ole Miss game. I visited with him last week before the A&M game, and he mentioned he was coming for the Alabama game, but won't be able to make it. But we'll be here for the Ole Miss or the LSU game. He has a high level of interest in Arkansas, so just because he's not coming this weekend doesn't mean that he's not interested.
Yeah, I'm thinking, obviously you're compete in Texas, but you think about, A&M, Mississippi State. Think about some of the games in the league. There's really not anything that would trump this weekend that would, when someone's trying to plan out the 6 visits they get on the officials in a game like this weekend. This should be at the top of most people's list in games they want to go to.
No, there's no doubt about that. I mean, the Alabama home game is always traditionally the most well attended by recruits of any game each year. LSU may get close to it, but the Alabama game is always anywhere from 70 to 100 kids, maybe even more sometimes. But and I anticipate we'll see about that many kids this weekend. Kids want to see big games, and let's face it, obviously they're coming to visit Arkansas and see Arkansas play, but they're also seeing Nick Saban in Alabama, and one of the best the best program in the history of college football. Let's face it.
You talk to these kids. Give the audience an idea of what their day's like when they get here, and how Pittman's staff, and because the coaching staff's busy with the football team, and there's brief interactions maybe before they give the audience an idea of what a day looks like when you come to a game as a recruit and an official visitor with the University of Arkansas.
They'll start showing up around 10 o'clock, 10:30, and then they'll be ushered into the stadium and into a area where all the recruits kind of hang out, and the coaches will come and visit with them for 10, 15, 20 minutes maybe, and then head back to the locker room. They don't get to interact with them much. Now, a 2:30 game, they will be able to maybe meet up with some of the kids afterwards, or maybe the next day if they stay over. But for the most part, the one-on-one with the coach is very limited because it's game day. But the kids will just be able to, and some kids afterwards can do a little bit of a tour if they want to. But it's pretty much you attend the game, you interact with the coaches a little bit, and also you interact with the support staff and the recruiting staff, and they kind of give you any information that you may need about the school if you never visited Arkansas before. But then they attend the game, and most kids leave after that. It looks like Ryan Wingo will probably hang out with some of the players after the game, so that's possible for some kids too.
Richard, we'll leave it there this morning. Big weekend, as you're saying, for Arkansas football recruiting. Hopefully Coach Pittman and company have a lot of positives to talk about after the game. Appreciate you joining us this morning.
All right, guys. We'll see you.
All right, Richard Davenport with us here every Thursday, Recruiting Thursday on the Morning Rush, brought to you by the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue. Whether you're fishing for coldwater bass on Beaver Lake, just a short distance from where we're at, the White River over by our friends at Gaston's, or you're just trying to reel in that big brown trout or that big rainbow, hey, the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue will work. It stays in the strike zone longer, allowing you to catch more fish. You can find one at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. It's the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
We as Arkansas Arkansas fans love when someone picks our team, including Coach Neuheisel on CBS.
But if you watch those highlights, you saw Jamison Williams running with the football. They're still missing him. They're still missing John Mechie. They are not the same. Both these teams are coming into this game really able to run the football. I think they're 9th and 10th in the country in rushing the football. So they can do that. Both teams defensively can stop the run. Neither one gives up 100 yards rushing. So with that being the case, I know Bryce Young's gives you the edge, but KJ Jefferson and his running ability forces people in there. This is going to be up to an Arkansas receiver to come through.
Why do we always get overamped and overexcited when national media give us credit? You mentioned that yesterday.
I
but
don't.
As a collectively,
no,
as
I
a
understand.
fan
I understand. It's everybody likes to hear people say good things about them. I mean, that's just human nature. People want validation for what they feel. They don't want you to be fair and balanced. They want you to take their side. I mean, let's just be honest. So, you know, and look, Neuheisel's a respected guy. I think Neuheisel's particularly on XM. And on his, you know, game day stuff. I think he's really good. I think he knows the game and he articulates it well. But just because Rick Neuheisel thinks Arkansas is going to win, or just because somebody else thinks Alabama's going to win, that doesn't have anything to do with anything.
See, I kind of like when College Game Day has the guest pickers and Corso and the guys, and they all pick against Arkansas. That's my favorite because then you can prove them wrong. But it sure seems like
kind of like last week
validation. Yeah, well, SEC Nation picked all Arkansas and it went against it, and then College Game Day, with the exception of Corso, all picked against Arkansas.
Yeah. I wouldn't expect many on the panels to be picking Arkansas this week, and that's just what you know going in. But Chuck, you once told me long ago, a lot of times in fan bases, people are more worried about people thinking you're good than actually being good.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Is it more important to be high in the polls and to get the pats on the back? Are you more worried about that, or are you more worried about actually being good?
I mean, people get too caught up in that. I mean, look, I go all over our league. There's not one single fan base that doesn't think ESPN hates him. Every single one of them thinks ESPN hates him. There's not one single fan base out there that doesn't think all the media has a meeting every morning. How can we screw those guys over? People believe that stuff, and you can't change that.
Well, I mean, Nestler and those guys, they were so slanted towards A&M last week. I mean, gosh, Chuck, I wish you could have heard. That's all I could read on Twitter. They just hate Arkansas.
Gary Danielson takes more heat than any analyst out there, and I promise you, when Gary Danielson goes home at night, he doesn't care one iota who's won that game. Not one iota. But people believe that these guys are biased against him, and really they're not. Now, look, every game kind of has its own flavor. Every game kind of has its own nuance. And if you're one of those describing the game, you know, it may come across to the team that's having a bad day that you're kind of picking on them. Or it may come across to the team that's having a good day that you're not celebrating them the way you should be. But, that comes with the territory. And, again, who people pick has nothing to do with anything.
But as fans, we're too sensitive to it.
Oh, I know.
And we think it actually has something to do with the outcome. And it has zero to do with the outcome of the game.
Well, I think it's just human nature. People want their opinions validated. They want their opinions validated. They want people to agree with them. They want somebody to latch on to the same hope they've got. And that's just how it works.
I don't know about how y'all's upbringing or whatever, but I was always more motivated when someone told me that, oh, you probably couldn't do this, you couldn't do that, right? Rather than, oh, you're doing a great job, you're doing this. Isn't that something that you guys have been pushed by rather than getting lavish love all the time?
I don't know what you're talking about, really. I mean,
in any part of life, when someone tells you that you're not going to do this, you're not going to do that, that should motivate you more. At least it does for some. Some give up and whatever. And I would think that for Arkansas fans, I always feel like this football team, basketball team, baseball team plays better when they're the underdog.
This is not a competition among fans, though. I mean, this is a football game between Alabama and Arkansas. How a fan feels about it's important, but it's not one of those deals where, players think like fans do. Players got a lot more stuff to worry about than, some of this stuff we're talking about. I don't think the players and the coaches give one iota who's picking whom on Saturday. I just don't think it ever comes into the conversation.
I don't think they ever know about it. I mean, think about what
they know. They know. Kids know. Hey, these guys aren't robots. They keep up with all that stuff. And I'm sure they talk about it amongst themselves, but, that's all it is talk.
And I don't know if it's a talking point from Pippen, but you were talking about it. Kids are on social media constantly.
Oh,
I know that from talking with players, they would – and this wasn't like right before the game, but they would see, hey, who picked against us this week and use that. When I was in school and I would talk to these guys about it, so they use it as I don't know how much it is, but it's definitely used as a motivation factor before they play this game. I'm not just talking about Alabama, but in general as a whole.
I'm sure it enters their thought process, but it has very little to do with what happens in the game.
Hey, we're live this morning to McLarty, Daniel Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Bentonville, 2201 Southeast Moberly Lane. Come by and see us. We'll be here till 9. They got sales tax paid. And no payments, guys, till 2023.
Chuck, it's National Coffee Day. I know we got some coffee over there brewing. Have you always just been just straight black your whole life?
I don't put I put a little sweetener in there. I don't drink it straight black. I'm not that tough. But I put a little artificial sweetener in there. Yeah, a couple of them.
I'm surprised that
you should know that. You get the coffee every morning.
I do.
You know how many sweeteners I like.
Don't start putting that in.
Don't act like you don't know.
I'm gonna start calling interning coffee boy.
Don't act like you don't know.
We don't need that. I don't need that in my life. Well, I don't know. My dad told me when he turned like in his late 20s he started drinking, but you just never.
My dad drank it every morning. My mom drinks coffee every morning. My wife, you don't want to be around her until she's had her coffee. I'm telling you, if you murdered someone and my mom was on the jury and your entire defense was, well, I hadn't had my coffee yet. And they said the wrong thing and I just murdered them. Well, they acquitted. Not guilty. That's how strongly my mother feels about coffee first thing in the morning.
I'm kind of the same way.
Don't mess with me till I've had my coffee.
I'm not going to lie to you. I walked in here, the first thing I looked for was a coffee pot.
Yeah. And you were a little grouchy until you had some.
Now
you're perking up a little bit.
I'm fine. Everything's good.
B in Clarksville, Texas, and he says he likes his coffee with a splash of heavy whipping cream. I guess each people are.
Hey, I know people that do that. Put a little shot of heavy whipping cream in there because it doesn't have sugar and things like that. And I'm not talking about like Cool Whip. I'm talking about the heavy whipping cream.
Oh, Bailey's?
No. No. I'm not talking about that.
Okay, yeah, Bailey's.
I'm not talking
Bailey's
about
whipping
that.
cream, gotcha.
But I know people that do that. I know people that
do Bailey's, too.
I understand.
It's part of the good old Irish coffee routine. I guess it's one of those things where your parents do it a certain way. Does Laura have a Keurig, or what kind of coffee machine do you guys have?
Well, we had a Keurig. And then I bought her an espresso machine.
Oh, wow.
For Christmas last year, and the Keurig got sent out to the – I don't know where – it got sent to pasture, man. It got fired. Instantly. And it's espresso. She grinds the beans and presses them, and I don't even understand what happens.
That's too much work for me. I go straight to the Keurig.
Yeah.
I go straight to the Keurig. I got to have it right away.
Yeah.
I don't drink espressos, but I drink espresso martinis. There's a difference.
A what?
Espresso martinis.
You just said that on the radio, man.
Yeah, they're good.
I wouldn't have said that on the radio.
That's great.
Yeah.
Happy you do it.
I know a lot of men that do that.
Keep adding to the material, I guess. All right, Jimmy and Conway, you've called in this morning. What's going on Thursday?
Top of the morning to you, fellas. Hey, I just wanted to ask Chuck. Of all your travels here throughout the SEC stops, what are your favorite stops that you go to, and what are your least favorite? Give us some reasons why. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. There's not any of them I dislike, and that really is the truth. There's not a single place that we go to that I think, there's not anything to do there. I can promise you. I've been doing this a while. When I was younger, I could find plenty to do, even in the outposts. And, I had a lot of fun in Starkville back in the day. Nashville's a great city. And I like going to Nashville, even though, when you go there, we don't play Vanderbilt football much. I like going over there for the conference basketball tournament. I enjoy going there. I think when Tennessee is good, Tennessee's atmosphere is really hard to beat. But, Alabama and Georgia do it in a way that nobody else does. And, I just don't know how else to put it. I don't like LSU. but I like going down there. I guess if I had to pick one place I didn't like going, it would be Columbia because it's always cold up there. I'm talking
Which
Columbia,
one?
Missouri. Columbia, South Carolina is okay. But Columbia, Missouri, I've never been up there in basketball when it wasn't freezing cold. You go up there this Friday after Thanksgiving, it's always raining or something or just damp. It's never nice. And I guess that would be the one place that I don't like going. Guys, I got to tell you, maybe I'm the only one. I've developed a sincere dislike of Missouri. I know people think, well, I don't think much about them. I've developed a sincere dislike of those guys.
Why?
I just don't like them. I mean, it's cold up there. I don't think they take their sports seriously. I don't think it means more. They act like they're a little bit better than those of us in the Southern Corridor. Let's just put it that way. And I've just never cared for him.
Bob Holt's the most arrogant person.
No, I'm not talking about Bob Holt. I'm not talking about him, and I'm not bringing anybody's name into it. I'm just saying I don't care for their program.
I remember the first time Arkansas went up there. Bielema took them up there for that conference game. That was a joke of a stadium. Now, they've done work since then, but not a lot. But I remember underneath the south, I don't remember which direction end zone, but underneath where the visitor set was where they had the media sessions at, and it was literally under a funeral tent. I mean, that's you talking about it doesn't mean more?
They got a long way to go.
They
got a long way to go.
They still do.
The thing that I see about Missouri, and I'm just going to be honest here, is I don't think that I don't think the time that they've been in our league, I don't think they've progressed very much. When I see their facilities, and I'm sure they've done some things here and there, but, there's not anything magnificent. There's no Baum Stadium. There's no Fred Smith Football Center. There's, they don't have things like that. And I've wondered why. Because, they got plenty of cash rolling in now.
Well, they rolled into this league and went to, 2 championship games early, and they thought they had it all figured out.
Well, now, let me tell you something. Their only prayer of being good in this conference is a coach like Gary Pinkel. Missouri in the trenches right now they're nowhere close. And they need an old school guy to come in there and kind of re-emphasize what wins games.
Very unfortunate for them that his health declined.
I hate it for him.
Hey, I can hear the sincerity in your voice. Tired of constant computer issues at work? When the network's not working, the computers don't work, man, nobody gets any work done. Is it the router? Is it the hardware, software, cybersecurity issues? You got malware on your machine, and God help us all if ransomware shows up on your network. That's why you need the people at Hashtag Managed IT Services. You can call Daryl at 479-802-4978. They take care of all the small and big issues for you. That's 802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headaches.
We are live at McLarty Daniel Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Benville. Come by and see us. Hour number 2 of a Recruiting Thursday next on the Morning Rush.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
No matter which road you take, the Toyota Tundra is the perfect way to navigate it. On your path, you're your own boss and set your own hours.
Look at that sunrise.
You may find yourself in some pretty remote places.
Whoa, that view. It's amazing.
Or in places where pastimes become stories that become legends.
I got one. It's a keeper. Hey, get a picture. No one's gonna believe this.
And each day ends binge-watching stars and dreaming about all the things you'll do the next day.
You know what? I'm catching a bigger fish tomorrow.
Built to follow your path, the Toyota Tundra. Build yours today. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com for your ready-for-anything Toyota Tundra. The aggressively styled rugged Tundra is ready to be loaded up, and you can head off to wherever your path leads. Toyota. Let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability.
The new Lotto game from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery is creating new traditions for our players, like Colton and Katie from Hot Springs.
We play our anniversary. Yep, 12/15, always.
And then I rub the ticket on his bald head for luck.
Yeah, she does.
Your numbers, your game. Play Lotto every Wednesday and Saturday for your chance to match 6 and get rich. Only $2 per play. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Hey, it works.
Hi, this is Melissa, owner of True Grit Running Company. There's nothing scarier than foot pain. Whether you're suffering from plantar fasciitis, bunions, or general soreness from being on your feet all day, we can help. With our foot scanning and gait analysis system, our experienced staff can guide you to finding the relief you need. Don't let hurting feet spook you. You can contact us on social media or call us at 479-434-3571. That's 479-434-3571.
Flu season will be here before you know it, and Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith has the regular and 65-plus senior flu shots ready now to care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store has COVID vaccinations and boosters available for ages 5 and up, as well as shingles, pneumonia, and whooping cough vaccines. Call 452-6116 and schedule your flu or vaccine shot appointment, or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
We want to welcome you to Rose One Stop Bait and Tackle at 612 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. We are your one-stop store for all your needs. We carry Petty G Meat Products, the official ham and bacon of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Give us a call and pre-order your party or tailgate party meat and vegetable trays to pick up on your way to the game. Call us at 479-452-2444 and we will have it ready. Rose One Stop, the best little one-stop in the River Valley.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands, with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Show your hometown pride with a School Spirit debit card from First Star Bank. Each time you make a purchase with your School Spirit debit card, First Star will make a donation to your school district. You make a purchase, they make a donation. Everyone wins. Support your school with First Star Bank's School Spirit debit card. First Star Bank has donated over $100,000 to local schools through the School Spirit program. Debit cards may be ordered online at firststar.bank.
For over 30 years, Our Landry's New Orleans Cafe has been the River Valley's favorite seafood, Cajun, and steakhouse. Now serving the best game day trays to go, including crawfish etouffee, seafood pasta, bourbon street chicken, blackened catfish, and more. They also do catering, pickup, and delivery. Our Landry's New Orleans Cafe, 613 Garrison Street in downtown Fort Smith. Open Tuesday through Thursday from 5 to 8 and Friday and Saturday from 5 to 9. 783-2505.
Now booking Christmas parties.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we continue with the extremely quiet weather pattern as we have this large area of high pressure in place. Wall-to-wall sunshine building on in for today with our highs ranging across the area from the low to mid-70s. Tonight we're clear, low mid to upper 40s, and sunny for tomorrow, the high mid to upper 70s. I'm Jennifer Naramore with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3.
This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by the Bobby Garland Baby Shed. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place.
and I don't know this for anything, but knowing the state of Arkansas and the passion for the Razorbacks, I would think this would be the best crowd since I've been here. The rowdiest, the best. I guess it's a red out, but I'm hearing people are already lining up for parking spaces and things of that as early as today, and maybe that's wrong. I don't know, but that's what I heard, and I think everybody's excited, and hopefully we can put on a show for the fans. We'll just have to wait and see.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
HitThatOne.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
It's hour 2 of the Morning Rush, live from McLarty Daniel Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bentonville. Coach was talking about putting on a show for the fans, not just inside the stadium, but watching on television. Guys, first CBS game of the year for the Arkansas Razorbacks. There's going to be over 5 million people at least that are watching this weekend. I want to talk about that a little bit coming up, Tommy, on a Recruiting Thursday.
Like you said, we are here at McLarty Daniel, 2201 Southeast Moberly Lane inside the Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram showroom. Come by and say hi. They got a beautiful Jeep with, it looks like it's been lifted, got some custom tires on it. We got a Ram truck sitting right here, and they got a lot full of stuff right now. Right now, get sales tax paid and no payments till 2023. That'd be a good Jeep right there to go, just about go anywhere.
I like that Jeep. I was checking out the interior a little bit earlier. I like it.
Nice blue. I don't even what they'd have some fancy name for the blue, but it's kind of metallic type blue or something. But
it's blue.
Just blue will work.
Blue.
But you can't say that anymore. They got to have a sexier name for the color. But
those dang millennials, man.
Aspen blue.
It's really blue.
It's really right. It's a good looking Jeep. Hey, it is Beat Bama Week presented by Lotto, the newest jackpot game from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. Every Wednesday and Saturday night, your chance to play for life-changing jackpots. Get your Lotto ticket today in stores or on the Jackpocket app. Your numbers, your game. How do you lotto?
Played at 6 o'clock on ESPN. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not a slouch. But, guys, this is the game at 2:30 that anyone that has a television has access to.
You know, traditionally, this is the game that draws the biggest numbers. We were talking about it a little bit off the air. Last week's game with Arkansas, Texas A&M was the most watched game on cable. Most watched college football game on cable last weekend. Averaged 3.5 million viewers. Tennessee and Florida played on CBS in the afternoon, and they averaged somewhere around 5.5 million viewers. You look at last weekend, and it's this way most weekends. If CBS has a good game at 2:30, that's going to be the most watched game. Now, there are exceptions to the rule, but generally speaking, ABC's audience was larger, I think, for Ohio State's game than the game that Arkansas played with Texas A&M. There's the consensus that ESPN, if you're on ESPN, that the ESPN without a number behind it, that you're on the station that most people watch. But the truth is, ABC, CBS, and Fox are the ones that are going to pull the biggest numbers. The point is, this Saturday, every game's national. I mean, every game's worldwide now. But this is the game that most college football fans in America will watch. And, I'm not going to pretend I understand all the peak viewership numbers. But if Arkansas and Alabama are playing a competitive game in the second half, I would imagine the peak on this thing would be 6.5, maybe 7 million people.
I think when you bust that, that's something that we're talking about this being a huge recruiting weekend and what that can mean if Arkansas football ends up getting it done. Tommy, this is bigger than if you win this weekend, it would be bigger if College Game Day was in town.
And I was trying to pull it up on the ESPN app, and it's not loading fast enough. What time does Clemson and North Carolina State play?
That'll be the ABC game.
Is that 2:30 as well?
I mean, it'll be the night ABC game.
That's the other thing you got to watch is, who's playing when, because that becomes your competition viewership and for that
6:30
exposure
on ABC.
Yeah, so I mean you'll kind of have the marquee games around the country to yourself in that afternoon slot.
Well, I mean it's I think when it all comes together or comes apart, whichever way you look at it, I think you'll have an ABC versus CBS matchup in the afternoon.
That would be Wake Forest and Florida State.
And you'll have counter program. But I think as it expands, I think you'll have better games is what I'm saying. I think you'll have CBS is going to have the Big Ten and ABC is going to have the SEC, and I think they'll have comparable games on. But those are the networks where you're going to pull your big numbers. One thing about recruiting, though, guys, we don't have to be on CBS to recruit well. The days of us being a little old Arkansas, we got to be on national TV to help recruiting. We're a brand. I mean, we've arrived. We're playing in the SEC. I mean, we're competing just like anybody else is in the SEC. I'm not saying it doesn't help, but I don't think we're a little program anymore.
I wouldn't say that, but they're still in the back of people's minds. I mean, it was just, and this isn't Pittman, we know that, but it was just 3 short years ago that you were the worst team in the Southeastern Conference,
but that was not the start of the program. There have been plenty of years where Arkansas was good and they were on TV all the time.
And that's fair, but what do high school kids know about? They don't know 5, 10, 15 years ago.
I don't think that's what kids. I think Arkansas right now is at the point where their brand is competitive in terms of recruiting with anybody else's. Alabama and Georgia are obviously a cut above everyone right now, but I don't think Arkansas takes a backseat to anybody in that area now.
And listen, I'm trying to remember back to all my days of being when I was recruited as a 5-star broadcaster, going to. But aren't you trying to project? It's kind of like picking a stock. I'm not trying to pick out where they're at today. I'm trying to pick out where they're at a year from today. And that's what you're doing as a recruit, I would think, is, hey, I'm not worried about where they've been. I'm worried about where they're going.
Oh, I think it's the relationship with the coach. I mean, you've got to be good. If you're a 5-star guy, you're not going to a lousy program. If you're a 4-star guy, you're not going to a lousy program. And I think at that point, it comes down to the relationship with the coach. I don't think we have to depend on some of the things we used to have to depend on, to get the attention of kids in other parts of the country.
Well, social media and all this different television and network stuff has done and helped a little bit about that. But, I mean, you look at the recruiting rankings, for example. We always talk about how Arkansas could be inside the top 20, but you could be 7 or 8 in the SEC. I still think LSU's above us. I still think A&M's above us. Tennessee, to a certain extent, above us. I mean, I think there's a good 5 or 6 football programs that when a high school kid looks at that logo and he says, I'd take that one over Arkansas. Fair or foul, just by logo itself.
How many kids do you think pick between Arkansas, Tennessee, Texas A&M, any of those schools you mentioned there, other than Alabama, how many of them you think pick them based on logo?
You're talking about brand. You're talking about perception, and that's where I'm coming from.
I think you're getting bogged down in the minutia. I don't think there are kids out there that are. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, they got a better brand. I don't think it's like that. I think we're on a playing field with those other schools, with the exception of Alabama and Georgia. And I think it boils down to the relationship between the player and the coach. I don't think there's as many kids out there, Ty, as you think, that are basing everything on logo. I think that's a 10,000-foot view, but I don't know that it's always accurate.
If that's the case, then we will see Arkansas go above these other schools in recruiting. Until we see that.
All right. I'm not going to argue with you.
I think NIL's changed it a little bit, though, that brand does matter a little more in the NIL day than it did obviously 5 years ago.
Well, I mean, we got plenty of NIL money.
Absolutely.
We got plenty of, that's not killing us.
Absolutely. All right, come by and see us this morning. It's Beat Bama Week. We're live at McLarty, Daniel, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Bentonville. 2201 Southeast Moberly Lane, right here on the showroom floor. Come by and say hello. Get sales tax paid. No payments till 2023. We'll be here till 0900 this morning.
All right, when we come back, we'll get into our Morning Rush daily question. Also, Tom Murphy is going to join us live on a Recruiting Thursday.
Matters, touchdown, Arkansas!
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Searching for the best UTV on the market but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all. No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. Play in pick'em contests versus other people for a shot at winning $150,000 plus in cash. Download the app, choose a contest, select your player props, earn points for the correct picks, and climb the leaderboard for your shot to win big money every day. You can also test your skills versus the house and 20 times your entry if you hit all your picks. Bet on up to 5 player props, over-unders, or individual player matchups across every major sports league, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, MMA, and NASCAR. Sign up now with your promo code HTL. That's promo code HTL. HTL at nohouseadvantage.com or download the app on the app stores to get a first deposit match of up to $25. Make sure to check out No House Advantage today and experience daily fantasy sports redefined, because it's not just how you play, but where you play. You won't want to miss out on this. nohouseadvantage.com, promo code HTL.
Is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
You know, we were talking at dinner last night, Tommy, about what has to go right for Arkansas to win this game Saturday at 2:30. Since you posted, I'll let you hit it first.
Well, I think we've talked a lot about some of it's just obvious and basic. It's got to be ball security. Arkansas's had 2 games in a row where the ball has gotten loose. Thank you, my friend. Has gotten away from them at the goal line, and that's, I think, first and foremost where you got to begin is Arkansas cannot turn the ball over in this game.
Thanks, James.
Chuck, you've talked about the anatomy of an upset. And it's got to begin with winning the turnover margin.
I stole that phrase from Rick Neuheisel, by the way.
It sounded really smart when you said it.
The anatomy
so I should have known you stole it.
I stole it from Rick Neuheisel. Arkansas's got to force some turnovers, and they know that. I mean, Coach Pittman talked about it on the radio show last night, and that's, I think, one of the things that has to happen. You're not going to win the ball game Saturday if you don't force some turnovers. I'm not saying you got to win the turnover battle, but you've got to force some on your own.
How much we've seen situational turnovers really be costly the last couple of weeks. When the ball goes into the end zone and the other team gets it at the 20, when the team gets the ball at the 3-yard line and returns it to the house. I mean, sometimes it's where they're at. You can survive a turnover, between the 30s and get away with it. Sometimes it's just where they happen and when they happen.
No doubt. And, you certainly don't want to be fumbling on the goal line and, when you're about to go in, and you sure don't want to be fumbling on your own goal line at the other end of the field. And, when I think about the great Alabama teams, I think about the teams that force a turnover, scoop and score, and then it's like sharks to blood the rest of the day. Or I think about an Alabama team that blocks a punt. We hadn't talked about getting a punt block this week. Better not have that happen. And might be nice if you could pull something like that yourself. And you might have to have a play or two like you had last year, where they faked it and threw it to Kern. I mean, you might have to have a play like that. We ran some trick plays that day and they worked. And so you might have to do a few things like that against them.
You bring up punting. We've had a few text calls, and we hadn't had a whole lot of conversation about the punting situation, but it seems like I'm hearing a little more rumbling about the punter, and maybe Reed Bauer should be out there, and is Fletcher the right guy? What's your take on where Arkansas is at right now with the punt game?
I'm sure they've competed this week in practice. I mean, I'll say this, and I've not watched as much as obviously the ones who were there. I watched a little, and I mean, I thought Fletcher was as good as I'd seen in a long, long time. I mean, he was booming it all over the place, and I know he still does that in practice. Part of it's placement. Part of it is placement. It's not always a situation where the punter's job is just to punt it as far as he can. You're trying to place it in a certain spot on the field based on your coverage. I think the coverage has been good. And whether it's a 35-yard punt or a 50-yard punt, you still got to get down there and cover. So they need another 6 or 7 yards, I think, out of their punter. But if you want a guy who's going to average 44, 45 yards, Fletcher is the best option.
And last week, the last thing you want to do is outkick your coverage when Anaya Smith is back there, as lethal as it gets. And I know that's something that's probably in the back of Max's head. Is like, man, if I kick this 50, 55 yards, my guys aren't down there, he's taking this sucker back.
Well, if you kick it 35 and he catches it on the run, you're in trouble too. So, it's it's a double-edged sword there. You got to cover it either way.
I mean, numbers can lie to you, but neither team's a great punting team. Arkansas is 123 in the nation, averaging 33 in net punting. Alabama just 3 yards better at 36. That's still outside of the top 100, so 109th nationally. Whatever that's worth through 4 games, that's
Alabama hadn't had to punt a whole lot. That really mattered, I don't guess. How much have they had to punt in their first 4 games?
Yeah.
I don't know, but these are the 13th and 14th net punting teams in the conference.
Here's the other thing that needs to be mentioned.
And they're both ranked.
Yeah.
We've talked about KJ's mindset this week. Where do you think Cam Little's head is at?
He's fine. Kickers are fine. They got to have ice water in their veins. Why would you think he's not?
Because he was distraught after the game. Those were Coach's words.
Everybody was distraught.
To me, college kickers have the most fragile egos, and this isn't just a Cam thing, but I think about that this game's going to be close. I think all of us sitting here think this game's going to be close. Bama's got a good kicker. This is not typical Bama. I just wonder what's going through Cam's head this week after what happened last week.
Here's what I hope's going. I can't tell you. None of us can tell you. Here's what I hope's in his head. I sure hope this game comes down to me getting to win the game with a field
goal. Well, that's exactly what he's thinking. And here's the deal. If he had not already gone through this many times in his career, he wouldn't be kicking at the University of Arkansas. I mean, this is a guy, he hadn't been perfect his whole life. He's missed kicks before. I'm sure he's missed big kicks before. But if he had not been able to come back from that, he wouldn't be here.
Now, I pray for this. If it comes down to a kick and Alabama's got to make a kick, surely the staff that puts together what goes on the video board has the Lee Tiffin highlight reel ready to go from 06 to put up there during that timeout. That's what we do need if Alabama has to make a big kick.
See, I think part of this stuff when we wonder about where's somebody's head, where's a kicker's head, where's a quarterback's head, it's because we got all this time to sit around and analyze it and think about it. These guys got stuff to do every day. They're not sitting around worrying about this stuff the way they're kids. Cam Little, I promise you, and any of these other guys too, they got a lot of things on their mind today, and a lot of them are the same things we had on our minds when we were 20 or 21 years old, and they're going to be okay. I'll put it this way. Cam Little would be one of the last people on the team that I would worry or wonder about, is he going to be crushed by what happened a week ago?
You said it best, Tommy. You want him to be in a situation where he has an opportunity to kick a crucial kick against the Crimson Tide on Saturday.
Our research staff just looked it up for us. Bama's punted 12 times this year. So
that seems like a lot.
3 a game.
That seemed like a lot, honestly. Let's talk to Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Whole Hog Sports. Tom, appreciate you joining us as always, buddy. You've got a chance to cover Alabama. You probably watched some games of them this year and some tape. What weaknesses have you seen with the Crimson Tide thus far?
Good morning, guys. Always a pleasure. Right now they're not showing a ton. Their O-line gave up pressure in the Texas game, and Bryce Young was able to squirt out of it and make big plays. But I think in that game, maybe there's some tells, some clues that Barry Odom and his staff can put together some rush schemes, because we know they're going to come at Bryce Young. If they miss him, then that's where the problems begin, because guys running in open space, Bryce Young throwing on the run, Bryce Young running on the run could be very problematic. But they're pretty typical Nick Saban, working through whatever small issues they've seen and getting better. Last year Arkansas took advantage of their secondary. Traylon Burks was faster than most of their guys, and he proved that on a couple of plays. Can Arkansas hit deep shots in this game? That's a good question.
Tom, I look at their wide receivers, and they lost two of the best in all of college football, and John Mechie and Jamison Williams. Slade Bolden was their third down guy, and they've struggled a little bit this year. Is that an area that Arkansas typically has to be very on lock on, and maybe Bama doesn't have the wide receivers they typically have this year?
Yeah, I would say that their collection is not as explosive and deep as Jamison Williams was just a phenomenal. Without him, I don't know if Bama wins the game last year. But Jermaine Burton has been good. They've got some other guys, and the way they use Jahmyr Gibbs in the pass game, that's going to be a real headache for Arkansas, because what are you going to do with your linebackers? Are you going to try to cover him with your linebackers? If Drew Sanders is rushing, he can't be covering Jahmyr Gibbs. So how they deal with him is going to be an issue, and I bet they mix things up too. You know, they run a lot more man and come with pressure, but as Sam has described it, double cloud coverage. You know, if they throw some of that into this game, you know, will that buck what the plan is for Alabama? I'm not sure, but it wouldn't surprise me if they use it from time to time.
Tom, considering who Alabama has played to this point, Utah State, Texas, UL Monroe, and Vanderbilt, how do you evaluate them looking at their numbers, and is there a trap here that we could be falling into by saying, well, look who they've played? I mean, what do we really know about Bama at this point?
Well, that's a good point. We know that there's a ton of talent. We know there's 5 stars. We know that Will Anderson makes you scheme to slow him. Sam Pittman likes their secondary. So, right, the fact that Texas played them so well, it was a road game, and we really had a chance to win the game. That's heartening for Arkansas because they feel like, you know, we beat this team last year. We can go toe-to-toe in the trenches with Texas. We proved that. So perhaps they can get a pass rush against Bama. Perhaps, you know, they can block and you know, give KJ some time. Maybe they can get their run game established. You know, the way Sam Pittman and these players have talked is like, we hung with them last year at their place. It was a touchdown differential. We've shown we can move the ball on them. You know, we're going to have a chance in this game. So what we know of Alabama is that they're growing into a team that people think is going to contend for the national championship.
You know, we were just talking about net punting numbers, and Alabama's 13th in the league, Arkansas's 14th. I just look, you know, if you get caught up in numbers, you can talk yourself into Alabama's got some uncharacteristic areas. You know, you look at the way they've been penalized. It's 11th in the league and nearly 100th in the country. Turnover margin. They've only gotten 1 interception. That's where I think you can fall into a trap thinking, well, this isn't a very good Bama team, and then all of a sudden, as Chuck said all week, they have a way of spoiling your plans.
Oh, absolutely, they do. And Sam Pittman was also asked that about the turnovers yesterday. And here's the thing: he goes, when you're way on top of teams, a lot of times there's not that that urgency to create more pressure, and your backups are in the game earlier, and they're not as adept at clawing the ball out and that kind of thing. So I just think turnover margin is going to be really, really big. If Arkansas can win it, that gives them a chance. Special teams. Perhaps they're comparable with their punting, but Kool-Aid McKinstry is a great punt returner, and the safety Brian Branch has returned one. So Arkansas is going to have to win a lot of the like third and shorts. But somehow or the other, they've got to win third downs and force Alabama into some incompletions. Get Bryce Young uncomfortable. And in last year's game, there was a couple of times they had him on the run and all, but it seemed to me, he made one of those touchdown throws. He was pressured. He was running to his right, and he just threw one way on the edge, and it wound up in a touchdown. They got to rattle him a little bit more this season.
You bring that up. Bryce Young and Alabama last year, 4 out of the 5 true road games, Tom, they were decided by 3 points or less, and one of those games being A&M, which they lost. Has Alabama shown with him at the helm that they're a different team on the road than when they play in Tuscaloosa?
I saw that stat earlier in the week, and it was a little bit surprising. But, it's the kind of thing that if your crowd is there, if you can get an early score, like, people have been showing the clips of the Ronnie Wingo wheel route touchdown on play 2 against them in 2010. If you can do those type of things and maybe get them under a little pressure, perhaps they make plays that are somewhat out of character for them. But I do believe there's a little bit of it's real, that road stat that you mentioned with Bryce Young, that and perhaps Arkansas can be the team like A&M last year that, A&M returned a kickoff for a touchdown. They got a little pressure on Young, and they just had some guys make some extraordinary plays. And I think Arkansas is a team that has the personnel that can make explosives, like the Warren Thompson touchdown last week, and we've seen it with some other guys. And Matt Landers, can he get behind the secondary and KJ drop one in? KJ's numbers on deep passes are better than his intermediate numbers, and that's one thing about KJ. I think he's going to bounce back fine from the fumble, he's got to be a little bit more accurate when he's on the move. His accuracy numbers in the intermediate range, particularly when he's moving, have not been good.
You bring up Matt Landers. He only has one catch last game, and he had over 130 yards in the game before. Just kind of had an off game, wasn't getting a lot of looks. What could he be for Arkansas at this game? 6'5", we know how fast he is. What could he be for Arkansas, Tom?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what A&M did to take him away from being targeted a lot, but I guess they had their best corner on him the most. But he can give you – I mean, he's the fastest guy. So if he can get by a corner or just a small amount of separation, KJ can fire it in there, and, we've seen him do it. And that's the kind of play that Traylon Burks made against Bama last year. I mean, the back shoulder wound up being a big touchdown for them. So I'm sure he'll get targeted more than he did in the A&M game on Saturday.
Tom, K.J. Jefferson's rushed for a touchdown in 5 straight games dating back to last year. Will he be able to run it into the end zone this week against Alabama to make it 6?
It depends on if they get any goal-to-goes, inside the threes. I don't think Kendall Briles nor KJ would hesitate in letting him run it again. And, I don't know what was going through his head when he jumped. I mean, he had just taken one step inside the 4. And, A, it's really hard to score when you're in the air from the 3 with that many guys in between you and the goal line. And B, having the ball up that high is, just so dangerous. So I don't know what KJ was thinking, but keeping his feet would be a better option. And I'm sure they'll have a nice goal line package, and KJ keeping the ball is always going to be in that.
Tom, good stuff. Always great to break it down. We'll talk to you on Tuesday and talk about what happens on Saturday.
All right, I like the sound of it. See y'all.
Tom Murphy with us every Thursday here on the Morning Rush. We're live this morning at McLarty Daniel Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. We're here in Bentonville. Combined see us 2201 Southeast Moberly Lane. We'll be here till 9 o'clock. Their staff's going to be here to take care of you with sales tax paid and no payments till 2023, guys. So good time to get by here to McLarty Daniel Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bentonville.
You know what, Coach was talking about the game last night.
We had to score some points, to stay in the game. We were able to respond last year. The problem is, for most part of that game, we were down 2 at one point, 3 scores, and we battled back into it. We need to strike as fast as we possibly can.
That's what they did in 2010. 2 plays, touchdown. Guys, how important is there then to get off to a fast start?
Well, the first thing I want to say is we lost in 2010. I mean, we lost. Everybody acts like that Ronnie Wingo play. I mean, hey, we won that game. No, we lost. So, I mean, fast start would be nice. Fast start would be very nice. I think the thing that there's one thing I think you've got to do, and then there's one thing I think you've got to avoid. You've got to answer. You've got to answer. You're going to get punched. I mean, you're going to get your nose bloodied in a game like this, and you got to punch back. You got to answer. They were able to do that last year, and it would be very nice to play with a lead, even if it's just 7-0, even if it's just 3-0. I agree with what Coach Pittman said. Last year, Arkansas played catch-up the whole way. Arkansas was not going to win the game last year. I mean, they were behind the 8 ball right from the get-go. They hung, they answered, scored late, made it a 7-point game. But I never felt like during the course of that game, we're going to win. Now I think that perhaps this game will unfold Saturday where there's a point in there where you say, I think we're going to win. But, we need to start defining our great moments with games we won.
Absolutely.
Not with wheel routes and games we lost.
Absolutely. And to the point of the fast start, I'll remind you, and y'all all know this, Arkansas led 14-0 last week, and it didn't turn out in the end the way you wanted it. And I don't think Arkansas is going to be in a position where you're ever comfortable with any kind of lead against Alabama, but a fast start and a big lead early guarantees you nothing, as we recently remember.
Sudden change plays are so important. And, that I thought the run by A-Chain that flipped the field, I thought that was a big play. Yep. And obviously the fumble was a sudden change play. If you're going to pull an upset, if you're going to beat a team like Alabama, you got to have plays like that.
Did Neuheisel say that too?
No, he did
Sudden
not
change.
say
Where'd you
that.
get that one?
That's I think I picked that one up about 10 years ago. You hear it a lot, like if a team recovers a fumble at the plus 47, sudden change, going deep right here.
Yeah.
Better watch it.
Yeah.
I
like it.
Yeah, that was anytime that you can get something quick like that. And that goes back to your turnover. What you've been talking about all
you
week.
need momentum plays. You need momentum plays, and it's kind of like Alabama on the other side. If you've watched Alabama play, I mean, when their defense scores, you can start the bus. I mean, it's over because it is like sharks to blood. And you've just got to avoid being in that situation. It's easier said than done.
It's the juice. You can see the players. You can see the energy swap sidelines when things like that happens. Some call it momentum. I think it's as much the players start feeling it. It's
I think a lot of it's they got the best players.
But it happens in games where it's not so tilted.
Question. You're
we
right.
saw it last week where it wasn't tilted to one team's direction on the roster, and you just have those plays, and all of a sudden one team's doubting and one team's confident, and those are those sudden change plays you're talking about that create that.
I think it's important, and I think they're gonna sack Bryce Young on Saturday, but I think it's important this secondary gets an interception because they got eaten alive by Bryce last year, and Bryce has killed a lot of teams and coaches and players, but he didn't seem human last year in that Tuscaloosa game. They need to realize that he's just another football, and it's hard to do with the Heisman Trophy, but that's why I think it's so important that secondary gets an interception.
See, I think the players already view him as just another player. I think the fans are the ones that give him godlike status. Those players out there on the field, they're not afraid of Bryce Young. There's not a single player lining up that's afraid of Bryce Young. Now, Bryce Young may be a better player. He may end up making more plays than they do. But I think that's the fans talk about. I don't think I don't think we're going to have a player on the field Saturday that is afraid of Bryce Young.
Maybe they're afraid of his capabilities and his talents because while he's not the biggest guy, he's kind of a smaller. I think he's only like 6'1".
Well, you respect him. You respect him,
the heck out of him.
but you don't fear him.
You fear what he can do.
You do. I mean, you do. Don't speak for everybody else. You do.
Do you not think Barry Odom is?
Well, sure, but my point is when you go out on the field as a player, you're not afraid of the guy across from you. Do I respect him? Oh, I absolutely respect him. Do I fear him? If you go out there on the field fearing Bryce Young, we ain't got a chance. There's no chance to win the game. You respect him, but you don't fear him.
Because if you're already in that trap, you got self-doubt, fear, you're eat up. You're defeated already. I mean, that sports is competing at this level is all based on confidence. You either believe you can do it or you don't. Either way, you're right. And Chuck's right. And these players believe they're going to go out. And
I'm not worried about our mental approach. I don't think mental approach has anything to do with what's going to happen on Saturday. I think Arkansas's mental approach is fine. I don't think there's anything there to question, frankly. Now, they may get beat by a better team Saturday, but it's not going to be because they're in the wrong place mentally.
All right. Our Hog Update's coming up in a minute. Again, we're live this morning at McLarty, Daniel, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Moberly Lane in Bentonville. Let me tell you for a few seconds here about our friends at Gaston's White River Resort. It already feels like October outside. Early in the morning, we get up and move around early. Temperatures in the 40s this morning, and they're talking about, I saw one of the forecasts talking about maybe some 30s overnight next week in northwest Arkansas. Hey, it's a great time to get to the White River and really enjoy it the right way, and that's only by going to Gaston's White River Resort. 870-431-5202. Private cabins and lodges, and expert guides to really make you enjoy your experience when you go to Gaston's, and a wonderful restaurant that overlooks the White River for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's all at Gaston's White River Resort, 870-431-5202. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
Touchdown, Arkansas!
Beat Bama Week is presented by Lotto, a new jackpot game from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery with drawings every Wednesday and Saturday. Lotto is only played and won in Arkansas. Get your Lotto ticket today in stores or on the Jackpocket app.
The Burton Pools and Spas Truckload of Savings event is going on now. We have truckloads of Hot Springs hot tubs in stock and ready to deliver. We'll have you soaking in warm, bubbly water just in time for fall. Save up to $4,900 off on select models. Get easy financing with payments as low as $80 a month with approved credit. Come see us at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and Fort Smith for the Truckload of Savings hot tub event, or visit burtonpools.com for more information.
Roger Scott for Leaf Guard of Arkansas. Gonna throw out a few numbers at you. 5-0. Looking for 50 homeowners who need new gutters. If you qualify and you are one of those that need new gutters, gonna throw out another number to you. Here it is. 75% off of labor on a complete Leaf Guard system. That's on new orders only. Other restrictions may apply. Now, this does not include material costs, though, but that's 75% off of labor. See a sales associate for details on that. Here's another one, 18 months. Ask about the 18 months no interest financing with a minimum purchase and approved credit. And the last number you need to know, 501-664-5400. And you're on your way to having the only true one-piece seamless covered gutter system on the market, guaranteed to never ever clog, no more muck and mud and shingle grit. 75% off labor, 18 months no interest financing, 501-664-5400, or visit leafguardandmore.com.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands, with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Stop by your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith, where it's happy hour all day, every day. Stop by anytime and try our $4 cocktails. Choose from a Bloody Mary, Cape Cod, Tequila Sunrise, Whiskey Sour, and more. There's also $5 glasses of wine, and Miller Lite 12-ounce drafts are always just $2. Get to TGI Fridays for lunch Monday through Friday for our $9.99 burger deal, available until 3 p.m. and comes with fries and a soft drink, tea, or Miller Lite draft. Order online for pickup at Fridays.com.
Shop Metters Lumber True Value for your project supplies. Today, a 32-gallon Rubbermaid trash can with lid is only $28.99. Battling insects? Get a gallon of Ortho Home Defense Max Indoor Insect Barrier for just $15.99 after a $3 instant rebate for True Value Rewards members. For general repairs, get a DeWalt ratcheting screwdriver set for just $13.99. Get these bargains of the month at Metters Lumber True Value while supplies last. Certain exclusion supplies, see store for details.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop until you get something done. Yeah, I know the game is on, but the faucet is still dripping, the toilet keeps running, and the drains won't drain, and on and on. You need to call West Ark Plumbing and let them do the dirty work while you enjoy the game. Call them at 646-5151 and watch the ball game without the West Ark Plumbing, 646-5151.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Former Arkansas quarterback and also Morning Rush co-host Clint Sterner was on McElroy and Kublik yesterday talking about Arkansas's chance to beat Alabama.
Usually they come into the game and they've got 2 or 3 guys that you know they're going to get the ball to, and you just don't have a chance to stop them. It's just not going to happen. They don't have that this year. Outside of Bryce Young obviously pulling the trigger, they don't have guys that they just feel that comfortable with. They're going to go in there, they're going to feed them, they're going to torch you. Arkansas is going to have to take advantage of that, I think, and it's a long shot.
Guys, this is a completely different wide receiver group for the Crimson Tide than it was last year when you lose NFL guys in that position. And not to say they're bad by any stretch of the imagination, but I think they're not near as good as what they typically are when you think Alabama wide receivers.
Maybe not with the skill, but they're still getting 280-plus yards a game, so they're still able to move the ball and get first downs.
Well, just because you're not Jamison Williams or John Mechie doesn't mean you're still not pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they got some. I'm sure they've got some guys that are good.
Well, I'll go back to what you said earlier. They haven't played anyone. Yeah. They just haven't. You played a backup quarterback in Austin, Texas, and Hudson Card. Quinn Ewers gets hurt in the first quarter by Dallas Turner in that football game. They played Monroe. They played Vandy. They played Utah State. They haven't played a team like Arkansas
and
yet.
Plus, too, I mean, in those games, they're playing a lot of their second, third team in the second half. I mean, you know the numbers in games like that get skewed.
So. Have you? I know you. Have you seen who the punt return guy is for?
It's Kool-Aid McKissick.
Yeah, I mean, Kool-Aid McKissick.
Surely you've worked up some stuff for Kool-Aid.
Yeah, he's been there. He's he's a good player. He's a good player.
He's a 5-star kid coming out of high school. You got him and Bumper Pool. That's 2 of the coolest names in college football right there.
But you're talking about the wide receivers. There's only one that's got more than 200 yards at this point for.
Brooks, right? Corey Brooks.
That is a Holden.
Well, but again, go back to who they play. They hadn't had to throw. They haven't had to do anything. They've not had to come close to pulling out all the stops offensively.
Well, and I think we're talking about KJ's legs this week. Bryce Young, he's consistently sitting in the pocket, but he makes plays on the run and he is slithery. He ducks and dives and is very hard to tackle. If Arkansas gets in the backfield like they've been able to, they have to bring him down.
And KJ's a good load to bring down. KJ's strong, too, so I think you're going to have 2 quarterbacks that are hard to get to the ground.
Well, they're both hard to tackle in different ways. And, Young's a guy that he certainly is elusive. I mean, you watch games where it seems like they've got him and, he gets away. I think everybody goes into every time they play Alabama saying, when we have a chance, we got to get Bryce Young on the ground, and very few people are able to do it. And that's because he's great.
I liked it better when they had game managers at quarterback, Coker, McElroy, McCarron. Now they're whipping out Mac Jones, Bryce Young, and Tua Tagovailoa. It's a little bit more difficult for defenses to game plan again. Not that it was easy going up against Trent Richardson, Mark Ingram, and company.
I was going to say, some of those guys have rings too.
Yeah,
they won. The game's just changed. The game's just changed. And, when you're Alabama and you've got it rolling, you can go get the best players at any position. And when he decided that he was going to change things up offensively, instead of going out and getting the best rush end and the best middle linebacker and the best safety like Alabama always had, they just started going and getting the best quarterbacks, the best wide receivers, best running backs, and they just, changed the way they do things.
Yeah. Difference is they just don't have other than Bryce Young, on the offensive side, the household names in college football. The names you know, the names you trust from a season ago aren't there for Alabama yet. But these are the kind of games, Chuck, that make those guys household names.
I mean that's the thing. I mean, they've been good for a long time now, and that roster changes. I mean, that's the nature of the business in college sports, and so they've got guys waiting in the wings who think they're going to be the next legend. And, there's a pretty good chance one or two of them will be.
Talked about Jordan Dominic coming over from Georgia Tech. They brought in Jahmyr Gibbs also from the Yellow Jackets, and he's been really big in I think you said this yesterday. He's leading in catches this year, right? For Jahmyr Gibbs for Alabama. I think you said that yesterday. So he's going to be after someone that they have to bring down if you're
Gibbs
Arkansas.
leads in catches while Holden leads in yards.
Yep. So he's going to be really difficult for man-on-man coverage and whatever they do there. Baseball news for you this morning. So we got the Fall Classic tomorrow, which you were talking about. There's going to be a good chunk of people that are going to make their way there, Tommy.
I think there will be. I mean, it's everyone's favorite word. It's free to get in, free parking, free admission. And, if you're staying in a hotel in Northwest Arkansas, there's probably none that offer anything less than a 2-night minimum. So you're here Friday night. You're looking for something to do. So I think there'll be some people that will go watch the free baseball exhibition.
I think they'll have some people there. I think there'll be some people that stop in. I don't know how many are going to watch 9 innings, but I think around dinner and around getting checked into the hotel and around meeting the family and friends you're going to be around this weekend for the football game, I think people will stop in for a little while.
That's going to do it for your Hog Update. It is brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Hey, speaking of baseball, how about Aaron Judge last night?
And the payoff. There goes the deep left. It is high. It is far. It is gone. Number 61. He ties Roger Maris for the American League single-season record with 61 home runs.
That's not Michael K. That's Sterling, right?
That's the legend Sterling. Right there, John Sterling.
Hell, is he, 80 now?
It's got to be.
In his early 80s?
It's got to be, yeah.
So
it is high.
How much value do you put into what you're seeing with Judge right now?
Oh, I put a lot of value in it. I think that these are important milestones, and quite frankly, you look at where baseball is right now, just in the national sports psyche. I mean, they need anything they can get, and I think Pujols' chase and Judge's chase have added a lot to that. It gets pushed to the back page during football season because, in our part of the world it's college football, and in other parts of the world it's the NFL. But, what he's done is monumental. And I still can't get over the fact they bat him leadoff. I mean, that just tells you how the game's changed.
He's just such a dominating physical human being. I mean, just his stature and size. I mean, he could be on this kind of tear for a while.
Well, I mean, we were talking about this yesterday. I don't remember if I said this on the air or off the air, but he's like the 14-year-old kid that's playing in the 12-year-old league, and everybody knows that he's not 12 years old anymore because he's a foot taller than everybody else out there. He's like that among grown men. Yeah. I went and watched him play in St. Louis earlier this summer, and I mean, when he walks out on the field, it's like he's the grown man, and everybody else are the 12-year-olds in a little league.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to watch to see where his numbers end up this year. It certainly breathes some life back into the kind of the marginal baseball fan. We are live at McLarty. Daniel, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, come by and see us. We'll tell you more about sales tax paid and no payments until 2023 here in Bentonville at McLarty. Daniel. Hey, BetUS is there for another season. The NFL well underway at this point. You got Major League Baseball's postseason coming up as well. The NBA's just around the corner. Get a 200% sign-up bonus when you go to BetUS right now and mention the code ESP in Arkansas. You can also call them at 1-800-79-BET-US. That's 800-79-BET-US. BetUS, where the game begins.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
And this is Robert.
And a Stadium Shop First, this is Elizabeth.
Yeah, that's right. We finally talked Mom into a commercial. We are a mom and pop store after all. So while I got you both here, what's going on with the stockroom? We have so much Razorback stuff for the football season, I have to go outside to change my mind.
Well, you remember last year how much trouble we had with the supply chain, just getting stuff in.
And how we were running out of sizes.
Yeah, and?
Well, that ain't gonna happen this year.
Yeah, we ordered enough stuff this year to last for quite a while.
Well, that does make sense. Folks, please come and get some of this hog stuff out of my stockroom. I am running out of space.
We're located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum-Walker Stadium, or you can call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486. Matt, why don't you tell them about the WW stuff?
That's shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. Folks, it just doesn't get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
The new Lotto game from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery is creating new traditions for our players, like Colton and Katie from Hot Springs.
We play our anniversary. Yep, 12/15, always.
And then I rub the ticket on his bald head for luck.
Yeah, she does.
Your numbers, your game. Play Lotto every Wednesday and Saturday for your chance to match 6 and get rich. Only $2 per play. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Hey, it works.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources, where it's finally time for our end of summer clearance. We've been busy all summer helping more people than ever get the nicer, newer cars they need, and now it's time to flip our inventory. That's right, they all must go. Over 100 Rath road-ready cars, trucks, and SUVs, all priced to save you money now with discounts up to $4,481 below retail. Plus, our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists are putting every deal together with extra for trades and fast, easy financing through the area's best local credit unions and the nation's best banks and lenders. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy a premium pre-owned vehicle, now is the time, and Rath Auto Resources is the place. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. But why wait? Get the nicer, newer car you've been wanting today and save up to $4,481 during the end of summer clearance at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Do you remember the joy you felt as a kid about pizza night? Remember how good it smelled? You could taste it even before you opened the box. And then that first bite. It was so good. Be the supper time savior. Order Jim's Razorback Pizza now. 434-3456. The best pizza in Fort Smith, or it's free.
Jim's Razorback Pizza! Don't you just hate that? Sitting in a tire store waiting room while your car's being serviced? That's the last place you need to be with work and kids and the 10 million things you need to be doing. Well, don't. Free shuttle service. Pickup and delivery free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier. Hi, Kim Bircher. 3 locations, 1 in Van Buren and 2 in Fort Smith. One stop. We do everything. So you don't have to go from place to place for tires or service or repairs or maintenance. We are local. 37 years and voted best of the best time and time again. We will pick up and deliver or shuttle you, so you don't have to waste your time. Honesty and customer service is always our number one goal. We will make your life much easier at Jody'sAuto.com, JODYS Auto.com.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we continue with the extremely quiet weather pattern as we have this large area of high pressure in place. Wall-to-wall sunshine building on in for today with our highs ranging across the area from the low to mid-70s. Tonight we're clear, low mid to upper 40s, and sunny for tomorrow, the high mid to upper 70s. I'm Jennifer Naramore with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
And I don't know this for anything, but knowing the state of Arkansas and the passion for the Razorbacks, I would think this would be the best crowd since I've been here. The rowdiest, the best. I guess it's a red out, but I'm hearing people are already lining up for parking spaces and things of that as early as today. And maybe that's wrong. I don't know, but that's what I heard. And I think everybody's excited, and hopefully we can put on a show for the fans. We'll just have to wait and see.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
HitThatOne.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
It's hour number 2 of the Morning Rush live at McLarty Daniel Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bentonville. Chuck, what do you think I'd have to pay Clay to sit with me at the touchdown?
A lot.
A lot of money?
A lot.
Too much?
Yeah, I'm not sure there's a price.
Not too much a price on that?
I'm not, people say everybody has their price. I'm not really sure that's true in this instance.
I was going to offer him a ticket, Tommy, to come sit with me this weekend, but I guess he's just he's too obtuse in this situation.
Got to wash his hair.
Got to wash his hair. Jeez.
Hey, slide by and see us this morning. McLarty, Daniel, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Moberly Lane, as Ty said, in Bentonville. Here's the deal, guys. Sales tax paid, no payments till 2023, so they're going to make it easy for you right now here at McLarty, Daniel. It's right here in Bentonville, Northwest Arkansas's largest Ram truck selection. We'll talk to Clay in just a second. We were all out early this morning. What was it, 47, 48? It was crisp.
It was great this morning.
Man, it was nice, and there's no better way to start a day like this than about right here. See, right below the chin, right there where you want to go with that hot water in a hot spring spa from Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. You can right now get big savings, up to $4,900 off, and payments as low as $80 a month. I say set the baby on about 103. It'll go up to 104. Don't max it out. About 103 degrees in your hot tub. Get them jets working up and down your back. You'll be ready to go for the day. You can conquer the world. You got payments as low as $80 a month right now, too, at Burton Pools and Spas. Again, Springdale and in Fort Smith, and always online at burtonpools.com.
We're going to get to Clay here coming up in just a sec. What's it? And, Chuck, I know you've been doing this a long time. Have you ever gotten a chance to watch a game next to Clay? How long's it been?
Oh, I don't know that I have. I mean, he's been in our radio booth, obviously, for bits, but I don't recall watching a game with him.
What about you?
Not a Razorback game, no. Clay would never allow that, We're not on his level,
Is it a certain level that you have to get to at this point to watch a game with
Well,
him?
I mean, there's usually the velvet. When Clay was in the press box, there was velvet ropes, kind of around his area. I mean, people just really didn't mess with Clay.
His last name is on the the thing on the top of the press box. So
Yeah.
I will say, speaking of press boxes, guys, they had prime rib. You probably got to experience it last week. Jerry does it right everywhere in that press box.
I didn't make it down there for that. I started down there, but it's a long walk from the radio booth, and there were a couple of boxes along the way that had food that was good enough for me. So I stopped in there, and it was a shorter trip.
Hey, prime rib, huh? I may have to start making that trip again.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, let's welcome in Clay now to the program this morning. Clay, appreciate you joining us as always. Bama Week, it's always a big one. I know that Arkansas fans are excited. We've talked about that. I want to ask you about Will Anderson a little bit. We've talked a lot about Bryce Young this morning. I know that you game plan defensively a lot of times. How do you game plan offensively for one of the best players in the country?
Well, I think you see what his tendencies are against certain formations, and then you try to game plan accordingly. In other words, if you line up in this formation, it sends him here, and you can, once he moves, then you can move your helpers, so to speak. Your backfield blockers, your tight end to give some help, because he's going to destroy one man. He's best player in America, in my opinion. Has been. He would have been, the number one pick if he'd come out last year, and probably would be the number one pick this year. I just think he's a great player. He's a great talent. I enjoy watching him play. There are a few players that I have seen that I would pay to watch. He's one of them. He is just that dynamic.
You know what I thought was really wild is in the fourth quarter of that football game, Clay, Rashad Dubinion, who's a true freshman, Coach Briles, Coach Smith, and Coach Pittman trusted him in that situation. And we've seen him give a burst. What kind of lineup do you think the running backs are going to roll with in this football game? I know Rocket's a leading rusher. How are they going to go about just the flow of the running backs in this game?
Play them all. You can keep them fresh. You can play the guy that's hot. If there's something that develops and you get a play and you get a matchup and you see the way one of those running backs is handling himself. But if anybody is surprised with Rashad Dubinion, they weren't listening back in the spring when the people that watched practice, including me, saw him and knew that he was a special talent. And the first time I saw him, I thought he was Alex Collins. I thought he was a crafty running back, a little bit like Collins, that he doesn't have, the fantastic home run speed. He's got good speed, but he's not 4.2, 4.3. But he is an explosive back. He makes you miss, and he can take a hit. And they've got several like that. I mean, I think we'll continue to see Dominic Johnson's role get bigger, and it will get bigger as he proves that he's going to be a playmaker. That's what you want out there. But they got him. They got four running backs that are as good as any group in the country, and they'll play them all.
Clay, last night on Coach Pittman's radio show, I asked him the obvious question that everybody's been asking is, what does Dominic Johnson bring to the table now that he's back with the team? And, he said, the first thing he said was the guy we got to get more carries is Rashad Dubinion. And he talked about his running style and how he was hard to tackle and built low to the ground. But, the one thing that comes through over and over again when you listen to Pittman talk, he wants the tough guys, and it doesn't really matter what position you play. He wants the tough guys, and it seems like with Dubinion that's what he likes best.
Well, everything that they've asked him to do, he's been able to handle. They worried about his pass protection, and he's been good at that. In other words, if they teach him, he learns it and is going to be good at it. And that's how the great ones are. And Dominic Johnson, what you don't want to do is just go too fast with him. Coming back from an ACL, and it wasn't just a normal ACL. There was some other stuff in there too. Let him kind of roll into it, and you're going to need him. All these guys, just like Dominic wasn't healthy at the end of the season. You don't need an SEC season. You get beat up at running back, and they've got a tough schedule, and they're going to need all these guys. But I would say Dominic, you just kind of get his feet wet again this game and see how it goes.
Clay, we always talk about special teams each week and how they can flip the field and make the difference. What's your assessment of where Alabama's at after 4 games in special teams, and what are the keys in that third phase of the game this week?
Yeah, so what you have to understand is special teams probably is not just you sprinkle in some starters, but it's your twos and in some cases threes. Like Sam Mbake is the guy on the punt return team that's in charge of the Gunners. Well, he's not a starter, but he's a great talent. And what you have with Alabama is that you got guys that haven't broken into the lineup yet that are really, really itchy to get playing time. And they're great talents. They're 4s and 5s, on the star rating, and they're playing on special teams. So that's what you have to match with them. They have great speed. They usually have dynamic return guys, and they can cover. It's Saban's guys, cornerbacks and safeties. He coaches the corners that are playing in special teams in their cover units. And if you want to get on the field, as a starting cornerback, the first thing you have to do is prove to him that you can cover on a kick. And so that's the challenge at Alabama. You're always under the watch of Nick Saban trying to prove something on special teams, and they're always solid. They can break games with returns. And I think that's a big part of what this game is this week.
For Cam Little, getting an early shot to put one between the uprights, how important is that for him for perhaps something that might set up to be larger later in the game?
Well, if that works out, great. But I think that I don't worry about Cam Little. I mean, first of all, he's a kicker, and they're just different. I mean, they got a little craziness in him. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised that if in some earlier life, Ty wasn't a kicker, because he's just the crazy. It's like they don't have anything that they really think about that's important. I mean, if you just be
there's
around
nothing going
Ty,
on up here.
There's nothing going on up there. And we know that. We listen to him. And that's the way kickers are. They just blurt things up. Well, why were you thinking about that just before you went out there? Well, that's kickers. And they don't need to be thinking about a lot of things. Just go out there and go through your process, your procedure, and you get a good snap, you get a good hold, and it's going to be good. And I was surprised as anyone that ball hit that upright like it did. And if there was anything that went wrong on that play, it was that they weren't 9 yards closer. That they didn't have that fumble. When you're in the red zone, you can't make mistakes like they've made in the last 2 weeks. And to me, that's the big part of this game is how effective are they in the red zone. And Will Anderson is he a wrecking ball in the red zone, because he can be.
Clay, I wonder about, the margin for error. Sometimes when you play a team like Alabama or, a team that on paper may be the better of the two, there's not a margin for error, and you go in tight, and as a result you end up making errors. I think Arkansas is past that. I don't anticipate Arkansas coming into this ball game and, messing up out of nervousness, messing up because – they keep thinking in the backs of their minds that we don't have any margin for error. We got to make every play. I think that's one of the things sometimes that hurts teams when they play an Alabama or a Georgia or a team that's, on paper better than they are. But I'd be interested in your thought there, because I don't get the sense that this Arkansas team suffers from that.
Yeah, I think they have confidence, and I think they feel like they belong. And now they're still playing with a chip on their shoulders because they have not won this big marquee game. And, how many shots do you get at that? Well, maybe once or twice a year. Georgia last year when they got in the top 10, Alabama, that was, that's a chance. It's I mean, we're going to have people on the field if they win. This is a huge game, and it's a huge game for Sam Pittman to say that they're over the hump. And Alabama is the measuring stick. It's just like playing Texas. It's what we've learned means something in the SEC. Probably knew it when we came in the league, but it was been validated in so many different directions. But the psyche of the team is so important. You don't want to peak on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. You bring them along. I've always heard from coaches that this is the easiest game to prepare for, these big ones, because their focus is razor sharp. Now you have to make sure and hold that and then bring it to the boiling point before you play out on the field. But you also want to, hit that magic level. Eddie Sutton talked about it, that magic level. Not up above the magic level, not below it. And I think that's what makes for a great head coach. I think Sam's good at that and understanding his players.
Yeah. We're talking about signature wins. I guess the Texas game would have to be the signature win to this point.
So far.
But this would certainly be number one on the list if you can pull this one off.
This would top it.
This would be number one. So that being said, I think we'd all agree you can't get there probably without KJ Jefferson having his best game of his career. What would it mean for KJ beyond just having your best game to do it against Bama and lead this program to that kind of victory, Clay?
Well, it catapults him into all kinds of categories of, all-star teams, lists, the Heisman. I mean, it's all out there. But you say best players have to play their best game. I agree with that. But he has to have the best game from the other best players. Like Ricky Stromberg, he had a bad snap against Cincinnati that was sideways that, led to that fumble down on the goal line that, didn't end up hurting the team, but he's got to play good. Jaden Hazelwood's got to play good. Bumper Pool and Drew Sanders have to play great. Simeon Blair, Miles Slusher, those guys in the middle of the secondary, they're going to be tested with all kinds of crossing routes. Those guys got to play well. So KJ could play his best game, and if those guys don't play good too, it might not be close. He might be scoring 24 and other teams scoring 48. So there's a lot of things that go in, a team game. The punter, Max Fletcher, has to do better. He's a great talent. He wouldn't be out there in front of Bauer if he was not a phenomenal talent. But he's got to play like a great talent.
Well, Clay, we appreciate you, and we'll talk to you next week here on the Morning Rush.
Okay, Chuck, you just kind of hang tough with those boys, okay? You can do it.
All right, Clay, I will. Thank you.
I mean, this is a big week, and you've got to raise your game, Chuck.
I know. Thank you, Clay. Thank you, Dad.
Is this your first one?
Yeah.
I was just wondering. I was wondering. Hey, we're live this morning at McLarty Daniel Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Moberly Lane in Bentonville. We're going to tell you more about sales tax paid. Also, no payments till 2023 when you stop in here today. Any business has to have a great-looking website, and our friends at Matchstick Studios can create that for you. Maybe you're a small business that's just getting started, new product, new service, whatever your situation. Hey, they can help you at Matchstick Studios, and it won't cost you an arm, a leg, and a kidney. It's $95 a month, and they can have you up in days, a week, not months, like that person maybe you've hired before to create that website for you. Call Jordan and his crew, 479-755-3043. That's 755-3043. Or see examples and features by going to modularorange.com. That's modularorange.com, or call Jordan at 479-755-3043.
Didn't get a chance to ask Clay this, but I do want to pose it to y'all because y'all pay attention to golf a lot more than I do. The live stuff with Fox, any thoughts on that this morning?
Well, they're having to broker a deal perhaps to buy the time to get on the air. So I think that's telling it that, hockey's done that in the past with the NHL. Sometimes they go in splits on the revenue. But this might be the way that they can get on TV is, hey, we'll just buy the time and sell the ads ourselves.
That's what they're going to do. I mean, that's and if they don't sell the ads, the Saudi guys will prop them up, and that's sort of the way it'll work. Eventually, these, they're gonna come to some kind of agreement, and all this is going to stop. These guys, I think, operate under the illusion that golf is such a huge game that the American sporting public is just going to hang on exactly what happens here, and they're going to demand a merger the way they did, with the AFL and the NFL and the ABA and the NBA. And, there'll be a merger at some point because of the money, but I don't think that Liv's key to survival is being able to buy time on Fox. I think a lot of this, frankly, is just a lot of people with too much money throwing it around and arguing about things that a lot of people don't even pay attention to.
Do guys y'all's age watch it? Because all my friends watch it on YouTube. But
I haven't watched 1 second of it.
I haven't watched a second of it.
It's kind of like how much Thursday night football have you watched on it? I haven't watched a second of it. It's just not our habit. And
let's not fool ourselves into believing that a younger crowd watching the stream is what puts sporting events over the top. It's not. People, by and large, are not going to these things. There's a stigma, and part of the reason that guys like Tommy and I don't watch, at least I can tell you why I don't watch it, is I remember 9/11 vividly. And I'm not a person that gets sports washed. I know sports washing works. I know it works. And that's what's going on right now, but I'm not one of the sports washed. And I know that, Liv's probably not going anywhere, and I know people that only care about money are going to be involved in it. I understand that. And there's going to be a merger at some point, but for the most part, you got a lot of washed-up guys over there. You got a lot of young players coming out of college. You got a handful of really good ones. I think about a guy like Brooks Koepka, somebody like that was such a dominant player on the tour. I mean, it's like these guys aren't even part of the conversation anymore, and I think that's a shame.
Yeah. Hey, I know a lot of people will be moving around doing a lot of things, Tide. The Majestic in downtown Fort Smith. More live music coming up. Be another fun weekend.
Yeah, Them Dirty Roses and Goodbye June tonight. Doors open at 6. You can go online to majesticfortsmith.com. Tickets are just $20 to $25. If you've never been to downtown Fort Smith and seen one of these concerts or been to a wedding reception, it is a great time. Music, mixers, and memories. It's majesticfortsmith.com. All right, when we come back, we'll get back into football. Paul Feinbaum had some interesting comments about this Arkansas-Alabama game. We'll tell you what those were.
Matters, touchdown, Arkansas!
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacale, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Searching for the best UTV on the market but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all. No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. Playing pick'em contests versus other people for a shot at winning $150,000 plus in cash. Download the app, choose a contest, select your player props, earn points for the correct picks, and climb the leaderboard for your shot to win big money every day. You can also test your skills versus the house and 20 times your entry if you hit all your picks. Bet on up to 5 player props, over-unders, or individual player matchups across every major sports league, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, MMA, and NASCAR. Sign up now with your promo code HTL. That's promo code HTL at nohouseadvantage.com, or download the app on the app stores to get a first deposit match of up to $25. Make sure to check out No House Advantage today and experience daily fantasy sports redefined, because it's not just how you play, but where you play. You won't want to miss out on this. nohouseadvantage.com, promo code HTL.
Football and fall, what a great time of the year. It's also a great time to take advantage of York Factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products. Give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Put a man in motion. They give it to the tailback, A.J. Green, and that's a touchdown. And the Razorbacks have put another one on the board.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
Paul Feimel was on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin yesterday morning and had some positive things to say about this Arkansas game.
I think it's Alabama at Arkansas, and that game is lost a little bit because Arkansas lost in a bizarre fashion to A&M the other day at Jury's World, but this is probably the toughest game Alabama is going to have, at least until the SEC championship games.
Do you agree with that? And because we had the debate about Knoxville. Is this the toughest game Alabama will play until they get to, and this is under the presumption that, as Paul put it, that they get to the SEC championship?
Toughest in terms of atmosphere or toughest in terms of teams? If we're talking teams, I think Arkansas is more physical up front than Tennessee. If we're talking atmospheres, Fayetteville's going to be great. But 100,000 right now with Tennessee believing their program's hard to beat too. But as far as physical nature, lineups, trenches, Chuck, I think this is the toughest game for Bama.
I don't think there's any question. When you look at the teams that have given Alabama trouble, I mean, look at what Texas did in terms of putting pressure on Young. And if you're going to beat Alabama, you got to beat them up front. You are not going to trick Alabama. You are not going to fluke your way to a win. You got to beat them up front. And I do think Arkansas is more capable up front than Tennessee is right now. Tennessee's better than I think a lot of us realize. Mm-hmm. They've got a really good quarterback. I mean, I saw Robert Griffin III said he was the runaway Heisman favorite right now. I don't know if that's true or not, but I know that Robert Griffin III knows a little bit about winning a Heisman and playing quarterback. So I think Tennessee's good, but I don't think Tennessee's as physical up front as the Razorbacks.
I think Josh Heupel would tell you that privately than publicly, of course. I also think it's kind of going back to the Tennessee game comes 3 weeks in after they have to play Arkansas, A&M, and then go to Knoxville. But the first time you get punched in the mouth, do you all remember the first time you got hit? We might have to go back a little bit, but I remember the first time I got hit.
You need a reminder?
It's no. I'm good.
Do you need a reminder?
I'm good.
Right.
But
go ahead.
It's bone jarring a little bit, and it takes a little bit to recover. It's like what Mike Tyson always used to say, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. Arkansas is going to punch Alabama in the mouth on Saturday.
So you get hit in the mouth once. It did not end well for you. So, here's the thing, though. You got to counterpunch. You got to hit them back. And, if Bama gets the ball first and they go down and score and go up 7-0, that next drive's huge for momentum. Bama probably, I don't know what the stats are, but I'm going to guess they don't relinquish a lot of 14-0 leads.
I thought Arkansas answered last year. I think that's one of the reasons that they're confident, or more so maybe than they were this time a year ago, is because they did answer. And Alabama was better. They were playing on their home field, and as I said earlier, there was never really a point in that game where I thought Alabama had lost control. I thought Arkansas did a good job in that area last year, all things considered, and they're going to have to do it again Saturday.
They're going to make a mistake on Saturday. I'm talking about the Razorbacks, and we saw what happened when KJ fumbled the ball near the goal line, and it really took them a quarter and a half to recover momentum-wise. If they do make a mistake, it can't take that long. Their game's over if that happens against the Crimson Tide.
Yeah. Hey, we're live this morning. McLarty, Daniel, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. We're in Bentonville. Sales tax paid. No payments till next year. You can get it all right here at McLarty, Daniel. Hey, we're up for the show. We got a busy week. We've been calling home base this week, kind of the inn at the mill in Johnson. And Ty, you know this as well as I do, that there is no better place when you got to find a home away from home than at the Inn at the Mill. It's right here in the middle of Northwest Arkansas.
Got the homemade cookies up
Well,
front.
man, you check in. You're supposed to get one. We get 2 or 3, But I'm going to tell you, Jen and Angie at the front desk, personal touch. They know your name. They take care of everything. It's easy. If you're a business traveler, they make it easy to get in, get to your room, get to work. They got great internet. It's comfortable. They got larger than usual rooms. If you're coming up for basketball, football, it's hard to find a room for a home game right now. Any of the dates the rest of the year, particularly this weekend. Basketball, they're not booked up yet. So go to the Inn at the Mill. If you're looking for some of the, like March 4th might be one you want to, get up here for. But look at that basketball schedule and start making your plans. The Inn at the Mill is the place to stay. We love it over there. 479-443-1800 is their number. Check out their website, inatthemill.com. It's unique. It's eclectic. It's just different than any other hotel you're going to stay at. 443-1800 for the Inn at the Mill at the Johnson exit off I-49.
Tommy brings up basketball. Chuck, they had their first official practice 2 days ago, and I know Arkansas fans are hot and heavy in football, but I have a good number of people that have asked me about practice this week and some observations.
What'd you tell them?
Well, I didn't get a chance to go, but I talked to a few people that did, and it just seems like they keep going back to the length that this team has. And I know Eric was very adamant about they went up against some size against Baylor, size against Duke. That's what they really tried to focus on in the transfer portal.
No question. I mean, that's when you look at what happened in the 2 Elite Eight games, I mean, being able to defend above the rim, being able to play above the rim, I thought was one of the differences in the game.
You got a lot of good transfer kids. I'm really excited about to see Trevin Brazil, who had an outstanding Euro trip, Tommy. I mean, he was all over the place. He had the highlight dunks. Coach was on him about rebounding one game, and then he follows it up with, I think, a double-double the next game.
Well, and I'm sure the players are just equally excited about the earliness. It seemed like a practice starting and kind of getting that underway. So it'll be fun. It's the most anticipated basketball season in probably 25 years, so I think people are looking forward to it. Hey, you can't get anything done without a great night's sleep, and Cheap Sleep's everywhere in the Morning Rush listing area with a great mattress to take care of you. They're in Springdale, Bentonville, Fort Smith, and in Conway. They got mattress sets with everything you need starting at $3.99. They've got box spring, frame, and mattress for full size starting at $2.99, plus sectionals and love seats starting at $8.99 right now at Cheap Sleep. Again, Springdale, Bentonville, Fort Smith, and in Conway. Tell Cheap Sleep you heard about it here on The Morning Rush.
Matters, touchdown, Arkansas!
Beat Bama Week is presented by Lotto, a new jackpot game from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery with drawings every Wednesday and Saturday. Lotto is only played and won in Arkansas. Get your Lotto ticket today in stores or on the Jackpocket app.
The Burton Pools and Spas Truckload of Savings event is going on now. We have truckloads of Hot Springs hot tubs in stock and ready to deliver. We'll have you soaking in warm, bubbly water just in time for fall. Save up to $4,900 off on select models. Get easy financing with payments as low as $80 a month with approved credit. Come see us at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and Fort Smith for the Truckload of Savings hot tub event, or visit burtonpools.com for more information.
At Clay Maxey Auto Group, making the relationship has been what we've always been about. Can't control the market, but we can control who we are and how we act every day. And we're just going to be really good at being us. It's always been more than just selling cars or servicing them. It's a people business. We're here to take care of the customer. To me, it's important that it's about the relationship, not the transaction. Come visit us today at Clay Maxey Auto Group.
Farewell complications, later stress. Goodbye business hours. Want a new level of banking convenience? Say hello to the Arvest Go mobile banking app from Arvest Bank. With Arvest Go, you can deposit checks, pay bills, log lost or stolen debit cards. You can even pay people directly with just a tap. Arvest Go lets you bank virtually anytime, anywhere. And it's only from Arvest Bank. Goodbye limits, hello possibilities. Arvest Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Nobody has a better selection of 2022 and 23 Fords than Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. More than 36 new Fords have arrived or are on the way. Ford F-150s, Expeditions, Escapes, Broncos, and Bronco Sports are all at Harry Robinson. And you will never pay more than MSRP. That's Harry Robinson's promise to you. The biggest and best selection of new Ford vehicles are at Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisol and online at harryrobinson.com.
September is here, and at Frank World Furniture, we want you to get this month started off right. So not only do we have no sales tax, but we are marking down every piece of furniture, bedroom furniture, mattresses, and dining sets in the store to unbelievable prices. That's right, marking all furniture down, and no sales tax. In-store, no credit check financing, family owned and service after the sale. All American made sofas, love seats, sectionals, and recliners at Frank World Furniture. Best seats in the house.
This time of year is hectic, and we know you have things to do and places to be. Southern Tire Mart can help you get there and save you money on America's most trusted brands like Michelin and BF Goodrich. Take advantage of our $49.95 oil change, which includes 27-point vehicle inspection. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith today. For quality Michelin and BF Goodrich tires and the best in first-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Southern Tire Mart.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush Light Beer.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about. A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Ask Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith about Shelter's home insurance.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Ashley Air. Keeping your home comfortable is what they do best. Trust them with your heating and cooling needs. Go to AshleyAir.com to request service today.
So Will Anderson asked about Arkansas this week if they consider him to be hateful on the field. He said, yeah, I do. I tell people all the time that the audacity for the other team to even step on the field is disrespectful to me.
I thought that was kind of funny.
I
when
did
he
too.
Said that.
I thought it's not really Nick Saban player-esque, but
no.
You remember Quinnen Williams, who's playing for the Jets now, and they're playing right before the national championship game. He gets asked a question about the quarterback, and he starts to talk and say, we play, and you think he's about to go at the, and he just stops because he could see the fear of God, a.k.a. Nick Saban, chewing him out if he said something wrong. Most of the time, they're pretty calculated, and Anderson just seemed to, I'm just going to say what I think.
Well, so far, whatever he said, he's been able to back up. So, I don't, that's good entertainment. I thought it was funny when he said it, but I don't think it's going to have anything to do with what happens in the game.
No,
but it was entertaining.
I wonder if sometimes players put them kind of back themselves in a corner like that, so they know they got to come out a little harder and prove a little bit more because, hey, I gave them a little bit of bulletin board material.
Well, kids talk like that all the time. I mean, they talk trash all the time to each other. We make a big deal out of whether or not they say something in the media, but the truth of the matter is they're saying things far worse to one another down there on the field. So, I mean, this stuff in the paper's mild compared to what they say directly to one another out there on the field. So I don't put a lot of stock in it, but it was entertaining.
I like when a hot mic picks up something that they're talking trash to one another. You probably hear it all the time on Friday.
It's not in high school games. It's more than you'd like. It's certainly not Sunday school talk, and so I can only imagine the next level on Saturdays what it's like.
Do you ever catch yourself laughing at one
Oh,
kid
yeah.
says to another, and try, and then you have to put your composure back together?
So I always
because you're supposed to be.
Always like to tell them, hey, ease up on that. These ears have never heard words like that. You know.
He goes by later and pats him on the butt and says, "Good one, man. That was good."
I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah. I'm gonna steal that one on the radio next week.
What are kids saying these days when they talk?
Oh, I know a lot of it I couldn't say on the radio, Ty. I mean, it's
is that vulgar?
There's just unfortunately, and some would say it's been a decline in society. My grandparents certainly would be in that category. People saying that there is just a lot of profanity used far too often. But that's just the world of sports.
The magic word is you. I mean, you use all that profanity. If you preface it with you.
Yeah.
That's a whole different deal right there. Now,
Different
you can spew out a bunch of bad words, but if you say you and then you start saying it, that's when there's a problem.
Yep, then I got to get my tissue out, that yellow tissue sometimes, and calm things down.
It's a one-time fence, and then you have to throw the flag, or is it? I guess it depends on what's said.
When they say now that tie, when they start in on you, I usually give them 15 more yards. You know, just not the wrong way, the right way. You know, here's a free first down. Hand out a first down.
You gained 15 yards. I was listening to
don't pass, go, collect $200.
I was listening to College Football Playoff Committee Chairman Bill Hancock talking about college football rights. ESPN's going to have them for the first round, the quarterfinal games in 2024 and 2025 and 2026. But after the expansion, how quick are we going to see Fox, CBS, some of these other networks jump on these other round games, guys, playoff-wise for college football?
Well, they'll bet on them. I mean, there'll be a lot of money on the table, and whoever's the highest bidder is the one that's going to get them. You've got to look sometimes. With ESPN, for example, we know that their focus is on sports. They're not thinking about their primetime lineup, beyond sports. But, for some of these other networks, Fox, CBS, ABC, you got to figure where it all fits into your larger vision in terms of your network. But they'll be involved. They'll be involved in the discussion.
I just get, and I'm a numbers guy. I'm a financial guy. I think about the business side of it. I just think about the position ESPN's in, trying to get your deal done with the SEC and the great expense that's going to be to secure all those rights. And now you've got to get in this bidding war on these things that may be even more expensive. You do it by average per game, whew, I mean, you got to make a lot of money back in a handful of games.
Well, they will.
Yeah.
I mean, they will.
Yeah.
That's the one spot where, you just whatever you bid, you can still make some money, I guarantee you. Lots of it.
There's a lot of games, I promise you, behind the scenes being played. Well, they're going to bid such and such, and then a lot of whispering back and forth because it's at whose benefit to do that.
Well,
the schools.
Here's the thing you have to remember: media people will talk about that because it interests us, because that's our business. All the fans care about is whether or not they can watch the game.
You're right.
They don't care if it's on CBS. They don't care if it's on ABC. They don't care if it's on Fox or ESPN. They just want to be able to watch the game. I personally think, for example, CBS does the best job of any of the networks in college football production. But that doesn't mean that the average fan is not going to enjoy a game on ESPN just as much. I mean, people want to watch the game, and there'll be a network to watch the college football playoff games, and fans are going to enjoy them regardless of who carries it, I'm sure.
What do y'all think about the Hurricanes affecting college football in the NFL? I saw Florida moved up. I think it was their game time or whatever. It's not just affecting the NFL, but college football too.
It's not uncommon. I mean, we've seen them come into the Gulf and affect high school football and games here when when it gets to our state and the rain's just too much. So, I mean, it happens. And
we've done this before.
We're not done with hurricane season. So.
No, this is not like COVID where it's unprecedented. I mean. College football's been through this before, and will again,
that's
as you say.
That's going to do it for
maybe this year.
Yeah.
All right, that's your SEC update. It is brought to you by Ashley Air. Hey, those cooler mornings are here. The cooler days are on the way as well. Is your home's heating system ready? Get a $69 fall tune-up from Ashley Air right now. Their trained technicians will come to your home, and make certain your home is ready for winter that's just around the corner. It's part of Ashley Air's 100% satisfaction guarantee. On game day, call the Hogs. When your heat needs repaired, you call Ashley Air. Get a $69 fall tune-up now. Go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your tune-up. That's AshleyAir.com, proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
You guys piqued my interest earlier when you said you haven't watched Thursday Night Football. I'm going to be locked into this Joe Burrow, hopefully Tua Tagovailoa matchup tonight. He's questionable. What do you got? Do you guys watch anything on Thursday nights?
Yeah.
Television, college football? What are y'all doing on Thursday if it's not Thursday Night Football?
I watch my son play 7th grade football is what I do. So that's the first thing I do on Thursdays. And then, to me, it's out of sight, out of mind. You know, the thing you don't get is promos throughout the week reminding you the game's on, what time. You've got to seek out, search, and find that. And until technology changes, Chuck, where it's easy and at your fingertips with 1 or 2 button pushes, I don't see our age group getting in on it.
I don't care if you've got the 2 best teams in the NFL playing on whatever they're on tonight. Was it Apple? Amazon? What's it on?
There's part of the
All right. You can have the 2 best teams in the NFL playing on Thursday night on Amazon, and you can have Georgia Tech playing Wake Forest on ESPN, and I'm going to watch Georgia Tech and Wake Forest. That's just – because that's what I do.
Because
that's my habit.
Yeah.
You know, that's my – well, first off, the NFL doesn't interest me enough to go searching for it, just to be real honest about it. But sometimes I watch – in fact, most of the time, to be honest, I watch at games. I think that's the way a lot of us are. Unless our team's playing, we watch at games. And so –
it's just on in the background.
Yeah, I'm not going to you know, I'm not going to change my schedule up to watch a game on Amazon or Prime or, you know, wherever it is that night. I'm not going to do that.
Now, I'll tell you, if the Cowboys get really good,
I wouldn't even do it for that.
I think there are a lot of people would. If the Cowboys are good and they were on a winning streak, guys in our listing area would change their tune. But
that'll never happen.
They'd have the grandkids
that'll
come over
never
and put
happen,
the game
though.
on.
That'll never happen because when the Cowboys are good, they ain't going to be streaming. When the Cowboys are good, they're going to be on every network. I mean, they're on practically every network when they're not good.
Yeah.
You know, when they're good, they're going to be out there. And that is a point I think to make is that, you know, you're going to have some good games on Thursday night as they try to grow this product, so to speak. But when the money games are played, they're not going to be on Amazon. I mean, when we get to the end of the year, the playoffs, that's not going to be on Amazon.
Yeah, Sunday Night Football, Tommy and I agree wholeheartedly on this, has become the best product that the NFL has to offer. This Sunday night, it's Tom Brady, and we don't know if it's going to be in Tampa or Minnesota or whatever. They're playing Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. That's where if the Cowboys are good, Tommy, that's where you'll see them a lot of times.
Yeah, and that storm seemed to be moving. What I saw this morning, through Orlando this morning and up and gone. So hopefully, unless it circulates back around, which you never know with these things, they can play that game on Sunday night. So
back to
and we've seen them also move games from Sunday to Monday, have 2 Monday night games. COVID taught us, hey, we can do a lot of things that aren't normal and get away with it when we have to. So that game may not be played Sunday night.
Didn't have a lot of ranked matchups last weekend. This weekend it's a little different. Kentucky is going to Oxford to play Ole Miss. In your 2:30 slot, you were asking this earlier, guys, Wake Forest versus a ranked Florida State team in Tallahassee. Also, Oklahoma State traveling to Waco and Baylor. So you've got 3 really good 2:30
See, those are
games.
regional games, though. I don't think the Florida State game, is that a national game or is that a regional game?
ABC.
But, I mean, is the whole country seeing it or is it regional? I don't know the answer. I'm asking. I think that's got to do with – I guarantee you when ABC's got the SEC game on, that's going to be the only game on.
Yeah, and then I do wonder about that Clemson-North Carolina State game. That is going to be one of the big factors of who decides in the ACC and if Clemson can actually get back to a college football playoff.
Yeah, that's a snoozer to me.
I'll tell you this, 11 o'clock, I'll be watching Kentucky Ole Miss.
100%.
That'll absolutely be something that's on some kind of screen. And then, you know, we're only paying attention to BYU because they're on the schedule. They play tonight, BYU and Utah State. So ESPN.
Is that on television?
ESPN.
I'll be watching that tonight.
You don't, no buttons, no computers.
I don't even care who's playing on Amazon. Ty, you can watch Amazon tonight.
BYU.
I'm going to watch BYU play.
7 o'clock tonight, Chuck. Cougars favored by
All
24.
Right. I got my Thursday night plan.
Are you going to go skiing before at some point in Provo? Can you do that?
No.
Is there?
I could. I've been skiing. No, I'm going to go see those national parks. That's what I want to see. I'm going up there to see that stuff. So
that was the first time I ever went skiing was in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I just remember Deer Valley. I thought that was some of the most beautiful scenery I've ever seen. I know we're looking ahead, but that's a cool place. You're lucky. That's going to be a fun trip.
Hey, we've had a great time this morning. McLarty, Daniel, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Bentonville. Come by and see. They got a great staff here. They'll take care of you with sales tax paid and no payments till 2023. Get by in the next few days, and you'll get that low financing in September before the rates go up in October.
We're going to be live tomorrow. The Morning Rush Roadshow continues at the Stadium Shop on Razorback. So we're going to 3 straight live shows up in kind of northwest, north Arkansas area. So make sure you stop by, get all your Razorback gear before the Red Out. First ever Red Out,
yep.
Tommy.
It's Beat Bama Week presented by Lotto, Wednesday and Saturday nights. Get your Lotto ticket today in stores or on the Jackpocket app. Your number, your game, how do you Lotto?
Good show, everybody. Football Friday coming up tomorrow.
Cooler weather is on the way. Is your heating system ready?